Okay, so we are live. Okay, so we are waiting for McCloud to join up, so he's just gonna jump in. But we are going to continue the story of the Druids of Nott. Waiting for McCloud. So our characters will go ahead and introduce his, starting left to right, is Matey.
Hey.
And Zook.
That sounds appropriate.
No, I didn't hear what was.
Do you want to do a quick intro for Matey and tell everyone who he is and what he's about and all that fun
Alright,
stuff?
well, to put it into simple terms, Matey is a warforged bardic pirate, and he's looking for his old crew because they threw him overboard, and he'd really like to know why.
Awesome. And
that's about it.
Now Zook.
My name's Zook. I am a rock troll. Sorry, not a rock troll, a rock gnome. No. And I am looking for my lost clan. I'm a Circle of the Land Druid, and I was raised in a forest.
Awesome. How about Isis?
Hi, I'm Isis. I am a Drow Monk. I was also raised in the forest, but not by my choice. I came up from the Underdark because I just didn't. It's a long story. I don't want to get into it. And I grew up in the forest by myself. And then I wandered into town, needed to sell my pelts. Didn't quite work out too well. Went on an adventure, kind of died. Got brought back, sold my pelts. That was my story.
Excellent. Now, Emily.
Yeah, hello, I am Emily Caswell, and I was not raised in a forest, unfortunately. Yeah, it was a pretty large city, but that's not important. I am here to learn new things, spread joy, and find a couple people who are very important to me.
Okay. And then the last person is McCloud, who is a Dwarf Paladin, and he will be joining us shortly. He is actually already in the church, not quite a staff member, but he's been taking advantage of their hospitality and kind of providing guard service for them. And he is here, but not currently part of your group at this point. As a recap, this is part 2 for the Druids of Nott. In the first part, actually, this is a sequel to originally the Theft of the Deus Codex, which McCloud had been in that one, and a bunch of other characters. But there had been a couple Druids, or not Druids, Dryads that were Dark Dryads, and the previous party had gone over and destroyed their source of power, this kind of marble-esque obelisk in the forest nearby the city. Your party in this one shot, the Druids of Nott, you had gone out to retrieve all the rubble from that destroyed obelisk hired by the Church of Nula, and it being guarded by a shambling mound, it was a little bit more than anticipated, and you had to return back to the church, and this is where we will resume. In the end of the previous game, Emily, you had gone off into town and conducted a little bit of investigation looking for the missing persons you're searching for. Isis and Matey and Zook, I believe you had all stayed at the church and just kind of took a long rest, kind of got back to full health. Was there anything else that you had done that I am forgetting? Or is that pretty much sum it up?
I just asked around some of the clergy to see if they had heard of anything. My clan, and my knowledge, nobody has.
Okay. Let's see. So I'll let you re-roll an investigation check because I don't really remember kind of what you had found out, if anything. And plus,
Sure.
There's so many different people in the church that you could always ask another person. So I'll give you another investigation check.
23. Woo!
So
Nice. Good roll.
you
Wait,
managed.
sorry. I think maybe I clicked it
Oh,
twice.
double roll. Oh, yeah. So we'll go with the 14, which is still enough to get some
Right.
information. But you're able to flag down one of these tabaxi, and he's kind of more like a tiger-esque looking feline, except you can see that he's actually more of just like a dark brown furred cat, but he has like colored his fur to look more like a tiger, kind of like hair coloring, and he's wearing kind of the cleric vestments. He looks to be like essentially a level 1 cleric, new to the order, having just received his ordination. And you ask him about your gnome clan, and he says that he hasn't seen any clans, but there are gnomes that are in the city, and he knows of certain druids which live out in the forest. And he would identify these for you as the Druids of Naught, which I think is the first
Okay.
time any of you would have found that information. So we'll start there. Isis, you've pretty much just been in bed, regaining your health back. And
Yeah.
you would
Just
feel,
sleeping.
yeah, as you awake, it's probably at this point kind of late afternoon, or if you want to just fast forward to the next day. For you've had a very long and rejuvenating sleep. You're being in the still being revivified. Your wounds have begun to close up and regenerated your health back faster than normal. And as you awake, you are once again full health, completing a long rest. Now, Matey, for you, as you are you just kind of standing watch there in the place, or what is Matey up to?
Matey's going to sort of power down near Isis just to keep an eye on her and make sure that everything goes all right. He doesn't quite trust the resurrection.
Sorry, what does he mean trust?
Matey took his long rest next to near Isis. He powered down and just sort of stared at her for the entire time.
Not a little creepy.
Not in a creepy way. He just doesn't trust the resurrection process. He's worried that something's gone wrong. Not that he would ever admit that.
So kind of like if she were to come back as like a zombie or something, he would coup de grace her and like end her rightly. How very Matey.
Very, very noble.
Well, now welcome, Dee. Thank you for joining us. We just went ahead and did a little bit of introductions. So we'll go over to McCloud real quick. So, do you want to give just a brief intro for your character?
Well, McCloud's still getting into the game here. 1 second.
Okay, no worries.
And also still waking up.
All right,
Cheers to that.
I mean, that can totally be in character too. McCloud could just have been sleeping it off after
Yeah,
one
I'm
too many
just
the night
sleeping
before.
off the last journey. I got kicked out of the church. Couldn't, protect the whatever the hell that thing is called. Codex or whatever. I like porridge. That's one. I'm a paladin.
Now, I don't remember. Did the church actually? Did they actually kick
well,
you out,
I mean,
or no?
No, I think that's just something on my own because I don't really know what to say.
Yeah.
For his background on my own.
I just want to make it known that the porridge part is very important.
Yeah, it is
Yes.
very important. It's super important. It's like the lifeblood of my character.
So basically, what would be happening is, now, Emily, did you come back to the church at the end, or are you out in the town?
Yes. If not just coming back anyway, I would have been keeping a watch and coming back when necessary.
Okay. So it's late morning, it's late afternoon, kind of evening time, and the the church is kind of resuming its normal activities. You can hear a bunch of like congregation coming in to do their services, and hear music kind of as they're either singing or playing praise music to their goddess or whatever. It's very much like a church. And in the
Is it because
evening,
it's a church?
exactly. After that, the lady Vera, who's kind of the one in charge, would either individually or find you as a group, whatever the case, and basically ask if you are sure you want to go back out to try to retrieve the ruins of the obelisk. She seems very self-conscious that the last time you guys went out, somebody died.
Well, if it can put me in good standing.
Who died last time?
Me. Isis raises her hand.
God.
Deceased.
Okay.
It's a
Wow,
long
I'm gone.
story.
I wasn't even gone for very long.
No, this is like
I
less
thought
than a
you
week
guys
later.
had. Yeah, well, that's not long at all. At least in my book, that's not long at all.
Hey, it's a little of this and a little of that, and I still have a headache from it. So let's just go out. Let's get this done, because then I can come back. I can sell my pelts, and probably gonna need to nap again. But
Right, welcome to the land of the living again.
yeah, it's nice to be back. Thanks. I
Good.
definitely don't want to do that again.
Good. Glad you learned your lesson.
If I can get a higher standing in the town's eyes, then perhaps I could get some more information and perhaps get that information passed on if it becomes available. So it's worth my time to be here.
So Lady Vera would essentially tell you all that she will increase your pay because of the hazards, and she will also assign, or she will also offer the services of McCloud and say that he can come out and basically provide more, I guess, safety, like basically go as like your guard and stuff. And if McCloud is willing to do so, she's going to offer him 250 gold to basically be the guardian. And then,
what? Gold? 250? That's a lot, man.
Yeah, it definitely is. And then to the group, kind of since McCloud won't be quite in the room, she offers you a total of 1,000 gold pieces to go out and get it. She ups the pay and says, due to the circumstances and the unforeseen dangers, we can increase your payment to bring back this destroyed artifact for proper decommission.
Will you buy more of my pelts?
She sighs. We can give you the gold, but you can just keep the pelts. We have no need of them.
Oh, okay. It's a happy little moron.
Okay. So you can either wait till the next day, or if you want, you can just head out here. Basically, dusk is a couple hours away. It's up to you.
I don't really know how long it's going to take us.
Generally speaking, I'm more in favor of getting an early start than trumping off into an area close to dark.
Yeah, you would remember.
But
It's
why?
about a 3-hour.
Why so early?
It's about a 3-hour wagon ride to get back to the grove that you were in yesterday.
Oh, come on. A little night
Steep.
travel never hurt anyone. You'll be fine.
It's steep. That's
I agree.
3 hours in a wagon. They stink and they're uncomfortable. There's no porridge on it.
Well, can you get any porridge to go?
I don't think they'll let me anymore. Because last time, I guess I wasn't supposed to do that stuff.
If you wanted to, you could go try to take some. Or you could ask. Or
Oh.
whatever.
I mean,
Would you want to try to go
I'm
get
just-
some for the road?
yeah, sure.
Okay.
So, I mean, I
you
guess
wanna-
I'll just like sneak down to the kitchen.
Okay. Go ahead. and
just
roll.
like carefully scoot around the corners of the pews down to the kitchen.
Yeah, so you
Better
see,
take off your armor.
Oh yeah, you have disadvantage on stealth.
so
Clang, clang, clang. You don't see me.
Clang.
but I don't think necessarily it's. I mean, you can try to be stealthy if you want. You can roll for it. As a default, I think that you'd pretty much be seen like going there. But if you wanted to try to just take some of the porridge, that would be more of like a sleight of hand in the kitchen.
A
That's
sleight
fair.
of hand.
Sleight of
Yeah.
hand. That makes sense.
If you want to go unnoticed, you can roll another stealth check because it would be at disadvantage, unless you're not wearing your armor. If you're suited up, then you'd have to roll a second die and take the lower.
Okay, well, roll 1 second.
Okay.
Okay.
And then what's
Well,
your
13.
stealth bonus? Do you have any?
Let me see. I don't. Oh, wait a minute. Yeah, no.
Can I follow after him?
If you
Oh,
perceive him,
wonderful.
maybe.
Yes, come with me.
Can Isis will follow after him.
Okay. So you see McCloud doing this kind of ducking and weaving, zigzagging through pews for really no reason because there's not very many people in here, and he could probably just go straight there, but he's going from column to column, slipping through doorways, trying to be unnoticed, and he's actually doing pretty good, except for those of you who are rolling their perception checks or like just like following along after. But McCloud, you get to the kitchen. Let's see if there is anybody in there. There actually is not. It's after supper already. There's some dirty dishes that are still on the pile. You think some of the novices are probably supposed to come down here to start cleaning up. But yeah, if you want to raid their ration supplies, you definitely could.
Yeah, definitely.
So because this is in the evening, you probably wouldn't find any of the porridge. But what you do find is this leftover sort of biscuits and gravy and cream of corn soup that they have in 2 different big pots, and there's some leftovers from the dinner, and you can basically grab it in to-go containers, these little wooden boxes that you can put it in and store away.
I suppose that will do. I mean, it's not porridge, but I guess it's gonna.
Yeah. So, do you guys want to try to head out in the evening, or do you want to wait till the next morning?
It's like Isis and Emily are prepared to go now, but
Yeah.
we've got one opposed.
I mean, I guess it's a question of if we want to be traveling in the dark or if we want to be traveling like during the daytime.
That doesn't matter.
Are you sure?
I think it
I can
matters
see
to the Drow.
120 feet no matter what.
Traveling at night works better for me.
Okay.
She's a drow.
I am
Okay.
a drow.
I'm for traveling at night.
Zook,
Oh,
will
it
you be
sucks.
okay traveling at night?
Do you have like a legitimate exemption to this?
Me?
Yes.
Yeah.
No. No. Generally speaking, I think it's better if we go during a time where we're all at our strongest. But I do understand that we have people in the group that are not at their strongest during the daytime. So I'm amenable to whatever we think is the best option for the whole.
Isis is gonna drop her hand on his head and like tussle his hair a little bit and be like, "Thank you. Works a lot better for me if we go at night."
Trundle along over to our little robot buddy.
Nope.
What are you thinking about? How do you think we should do this?
He sort of
Matey.
looks. He looks at you for a second and just goes, "I'll go when you guys go. I do not care in the slightest."
Sounds good for me. And I trundle back.
Now, does Matey have any dark vision?
Matey does not have dark vision.
Okay, so I think everybody
Does
else
Matey have
does.
lights?
Oops.
It's kind of weird that Warforged don't get dark vision, considering that their eyes glow a bit. But you know,
It's the upgrade. You missed the Mark III Warforged when they had, the dark vision goggles,
in fuck. In fairness, the crew of the Ailstorm did find me in basically a garbage dump. So Yeah, I'm probably just out of date.
Okay.
Ooh, Zook, you're getting approached.
Oh, hello. Okay. Kind of look back in surprise to be approached by somebody who is nearing my size, though still definitely taller than me. I'm
Quite.
Zook. Kind of trail along after him. Nice to meet you.
Oh, okay. Hi. Good to meet you. You are insanely tiny.
Really, I hadn't noticed actually. Thank you for reminding me, though. And I just
Oh,
sort
you're
of
welcome, bud.
waltz back.
It's okay. I like you at your size.
So
I like me at my size too.
at your request, one of the Tabaxi novices basically brings out the wagon and the same donkey that you had before. Just kind of groans as he gets put up to the wagon cart, and the wagon is big enough for pretty much 4 people to be on. You could squeeze with all 5 of you if you wanted to, but it's not that large of a wagon, so it's all that they are pretty much able to offer to you, and you're able to proceed if you wish.
Okay, let's go.
I'm ready if you all are.
Let's go.
Do you want to squish on the
Yeah.
wagon, or do you want to have someone walk?
I'll walk. I've been stiff for a couple hours, so walking sounds really nice at this
I've been
point.
walking this entire week. I'm on the wagon.
Yeah, Matey's gonna sit on the wagon
Poor donkey.
very
donkey.
carefully because he is a heavy boy.
Yeah, the donkey like groans and starts to like trot along.
Remembers the last time.
If Zook were to cast Speak with Animals, he'd find one very distressed donkey.
All right,
One-
fine. Fucking Matey will walk. Stop
What a
guilting
jackass.
him.
I don't think Matey would care though, would he?
That's true.
Probably
We've
not.
We've got
No.
2 jackasses in the party right now.
Hey.
Okay, so the sun sets. You guys are on the road. It's probably like 6 o'clock, 7 o'clock, 8 o'clock, and you probably get there right about 9 o'clock, getting into the clearing. The moon is out. It's a clear sky. And you return to this grove. McCloud, this is not the first time that you've been here, and same for the others. You see that
I have a couple things to have mentioned while we were on the road.
Yeah, for sure.
All right. Well, after we've gotten a little bit of the ways out of the town, I would have called everyone's attention and asked, does anyone here have a way to trip or stop or otherwise temporarily incapacitate anyone?
You.
I
I
do.
suppose if I
I
push
do.
hard enough. Not enough.
Wonderful. I may call for your assistance if this gets messy like the last time. And another thing, I need you all to trust me, and I need you to choose an uncommon word that is easily recognizable by all of you.
Sea cucumber.
Sea
No.
cucumber. Sure.
No. How about banana split?
Porridge.
Passive would be 11.
Porridge. There you go. Porridge. That could
Porridge
be.
works for me.
What is this? A signal word for what?
Yeah, it's just a sacred word.
Okay, that's a little sketchy, but okay, that's fine. Porridge. it
Anything
is.
like a safe word?
Yes. Safety for me.
Oh, well, that's good, I suppose.
It is quite good.
So porridge?
Porridge.
Porridge
I'll
is
be
the
sure
safe
to
word.
remember
Got
that.
it. Got it. Is there safety in words? If we say porridge a lot of times, are we safer?
It won't matter if you say it. In fact, it'll probably make the situation worse. Just listen for someone else to say porridge.
Oh, okay. Got it.
So, McCloud, what is your passive perception? And then same for Emily. And then Zook, I don't know if I have yours either. I have Matey's already.
My passive perception is 13.
Okay,
Your
Emily
eyes
and
all can
McCloud.
see well. I can't.
I also do have dark vision, if that makes sense.
Yep, that means you are able to use your passive in this scenario. So McCloud, do you have your passive perception? It should be just kind of under your ability scores.
Under my no, I don't actually. I don't think I set that up.
What is your perception bonus, and then just add 10?
Perception bonus. Let me see. I don't have a perception bonus. Wait, it's wisdom plus 0. That's plus 0.
Okay, so
So 10.
10. And then I'm just waiting on Emily's.
Passive?
Yep.
Oh, it's 11.
And do you have dark vision?
I have very good dark vision.
Dark vision buddies, high five.
Yeah.
Okay, so the cart kind of trundles on through the forest. Let me see something really quick. Okay. The donkey just kind of whines a little bit, but as you pull into the clearing, you see once again this kind of cleared out forest area. The trees on the edge of the forest have those markings that Zook had found, and there is a kind of a big pile of brambles right over by where the obelisk used to be. And McCloud, you see that there is no sign of those ruins from when you guys have demolished it.
Interesting. It's not here.
Doesn't look like it.
Is the mound of the creature that was killed, is it still there?
It is. That's the green thing I just drew. So that's the body, basically, of this shambling mound of branches and trees.
Isis is gonna go over and kick it and call it a jerk.
Okay,
Yep.
don't do. Okay, wow, okay.
The branches, as you kick it, in this pile, it kind of like totally splinters, almost as if it had been like burned in a fire. And when you kick it, like the ash all just kind of spreads everywhere. It hasn't been on fire, but it just has that kind of disintegration feel, and it just kind of poofs into a cloud of sawdust, essentially. And it's very
She looks
fragile.
really confused. She looks really, really confused, and she turns to the group and she goes, "What did you do to it?" Oh my god!
Anyway, we've gotten some idea from a squirrel that perhaps there has something to do with this tree over here.
So, actually, there's a tree that we will have to climb that's going to provide entrance to a canopy layer, and that's what we think whoever took rubble we were supposed to retrieve. That's where they went.
Yeah, I'd like to just look in the tops of all of the trees around the clearing, if that's okay.
Yep, you want to just kind of make an investigation check? I won't make you roll for climbing or anything, just because you can take as much time as you need to get up there. And I figure if you've got a
Investigation.
decent dexterity then.
+2. I have a 14 dex.
Yeah, so you can basically just climb up without any hindrances and
Back.
ground.
I think the trend is continuing.
Yeah. So
Oh dear.
My
You've-
plan's not going to come through.
you're able to find that there are a couple trees that you could climb up to and just kind of
Hang
have
on,
like a platform, but you don't really see any signs of any trails or anything.
I'm not very used to forest. I tend to stick to urban areas. Yikes.
Isis would definitely join her climbing the tree. She's got a dex of 17.
Yeah, again, go ahead. You can just get up there. Now, what are you looking for?
I'm not too versed on what's happening up here, so I guess just kind of a general perception check to see if I recognize anything. If anything looks, I guess just if anything looks out of place, because I would
Unrest and unnatural.
I would guess that she's probably spent some time in this woods before, so if anything was kind of out of whack, she'd probably be able to spot
Yep.
what's going on.
Go ahead and roll an investigation check.
Investigation. Interesting. Okay, so it's. Let me try this. It's not sharing the rolls.
Oh, is it the Beyond 20 extension?
Yeah, they've changed it. It looks like.
Right when we
Shucks.
find it out, they change it on us.
No, this is weird. It's rolling. It's rolling digital dice on the page, but it's not transferring over. Oh no, hold on here. I'll just do
Curious.
this.
So while you're rolling and figuring out the investigation, McCloud and Emily on the ground. Oh, yeah. No,
What?
you're the same. You get up to the tree and you're looking around. You kind of find the same thing that Emily is there's a couple of these ones where you could like perch in and kind of have a little, like if you needed to sleep in a tree, there's probably 2 or 3 around the edge that you can. But you don't see any sign of a trail or any sign of anything else up in the trees. But Zook and McCloud, what are you both doing? Are you still on the ground, or what would you like to do?
I think that right now I'm just sort of taking in the scene. Can I do an investigation check to see if there's any things that have changed since the last time we were here?
Yeah, go ahead, roll an investigation.
Sorry, I did it twice again.
No worries, we just go with the top whenever that happens. So with a 10, you find kind of a lot of the things are the same. You see that the surrounding trees all around this circle have those kind of runes carved into it in the wood. It doesn't look to seem as if the spell that had been imbued into them has been recharged. It doesn't look like anyone's returned here since you guys were here last. You find up again in the trees, there's a couple different ones, and because you found it last time, you can see there is still a trail in that upper tree. Once you get up there right next to Isis, you can see that there's kind of not quite a path. You could probably call it a path, but it's just kind of a route, more like that you could follow going through the treetops.
Okay.
Well, I think we should go. I think so.
I mean, we know which direction we need to go, so let's move forward.
As we
Are you guys
climb
gonna
in the
stay on the-
trees.
Are you guys going to stay on the ground and Emily and I take the trees?
Hell yeah. Everyone's in the trees and he's just stomping on the wildlife below.
Could I try using Divine Sense?
Yes, tell me what that does one more time. Is that sensing for evil?
Yeah, it senses for evil. I forgot what radius though.
I think
Or what
it's
the range is on it.
60 feet. Divine sense. Okay, so it's basically sensing evil and good, awareness to such forces. You know, celestial, fiend, or undead within 60 feet of you.
Yes.
It's So as far as I'm aware, nobody in your party is evil, so I don't think you necessarily sense any of that, or presences of good, anything like that would kind of show up as well. But for the most part, I think everybody's pretty neutral. So you really don't sense anything in the area near you. It's nighttime, so as you were looking out through the forest, you see a lot of nature, probably a lot of critters kind of running about, maybe a fox in the distance, but nothing that is inherently evil or inherently good. That's just the forest.
Okay.
Just to make things a little bit easier on all of us, Zook kind of bends down and assumes wild shape. I'm going to transform into a giant wolf spider.
Oh, yuck, but that's cool.
Nice.
Oh
It's kind
god.
of gross.
And as I do, I say, "Sorry, anybody that doesn't like big spiders." And 6 extra limbs, 4 extra limbs burst out of my sides, and I grow considerably.
Matey is okay.
God.
Large
Um,
wolf spider.
Emily is
With-
jealous that you can grow extra limbs, and I'll leave it at that.
With
For now.
no issue whatsoever, I am able to climb up the tree unaided using my spider climb.
We've got a
Absolutely.
paladin that's going to transform into a tree.
What?
Hello, cat. Yo.
Huh?
Nothing. If you're not gonna, then like trail on the floor.
Yep. So for the cart, do you want to just kind of anchor the donkey there, or do you want to have until Matey returns, just have him stay with the donkey?
Matey is returning.
Matey, are you back?
Yes, I'm here.
Oh, I didn't catch that. Perfect. So what do you guys want to do with the cart?
What is in the cart, you know?
So it's not really going to be able to go through the forest very well. You could unhitch the cart and take the donkey with you, or you could just kind of leave it.
Are there any valuables or anything like that in the cart?
No,
Is it just
it's
an
just
empty cart?
Yeah, it's just an empty.
I don't think so.
I think that we just leave it here. I think it'll be more trouble than it's worth trying to get it through. And at the end of the day, if we can't get the cart through this foliage, so worst comes to worst, I can always become a donkey and pull you behind.
Ugh.
Don't forget we have all that food.
Oh, that's right. You do have some of those rations, which you could either bring with or you can take. It's up to you.
Let's take with us.
Okay, so you guys want to proceed. Who's in the trees and who's on foot on the ground?
I'm on
I'm
foot.
up the tree.
There's no way my stubby butt is gonna get up a tree. No way.
Dummy armored, but
Yeah, stummy armored. Thank you. Stummy armored butt.
I
Climb,
sit in the tree.
climb.
So there's these 2 clinking people coming through the forest floor. McCloud's armor is just kind of clinking and rattling, and Matey's just stomp, stomp, stomp. Up above,
of course.
Emily and Isis are deftly maneuvering their
Gliding
way
through the trees.
Exactly, and followed behind is this giant wolf spider, just kind of the legs
Hell
moving
yeah.
at lightning speed, connecting and through all the different branches and just easily traversing the forest ceiling. So we'll move you over to just kind of a
Yes, next area.
generic jungle page. Now, on this map, it shows there's stumps, but that's just so you can see into it. There are full-on trees and everything. Who's doing the primary navigating following this trail? Because I'll need them to roll a survival check.
I have a +4 to survival. Isis does. Does anybody else
Yeah.
have better than that?
No.
Go
Nope.
for it.
I've got a +3 to survival.
Might
Plus
make,
5
like-
to nature.
Can I get advantage because Zook is helping me.
Yes.
Yay! Let's see if I got this fixed. Nope. I have no idea. It was working fine a second ago, and I don't know what happened. Bless you.
Is there a way for me to get rid of our character portraits on the screen?
Yes, if you go to the settings cog in Roll20, it's on the top right. You can scroll down to avatars, player's avatar size, and switch it to name only. Okay, so that's a 15. So yeah, so you guys are able to keep following.
Oh wow,
this
that's
trail.
so much better. I can actually see what's going on now.
Yep.
Perfect.
I know every game, our knowledge increases on how to use these devices.
Ooh.
So yeah, so you're climbing through the trees as it gets to be a little bit later. You're probably on the trail for about an hour, getting into the deeper portion of the forest. You see up ahead a couple glimmers of light. You see something from the forest ceiling. So it's probably about maybe half a mile ahead. You can kind of see these kind of flickering lights from up in the treetops.
And I've been making sure to check on the left and right side instead of just tunnel visioning.
Okay, go ahead and roll a perception check.
Hell, yeah, okay. Still not gonna work. There it is, the 9.
Okay, so yeah, you see foliage from the trees. You see the light from the moon from above. You can see peeking through the forest canopy. You can see animals scurrying away from the noise that's being created on the ground. Nothing really outstanding. Seems fairly normal.
I'm moving too quickly. It's a little hard to see.
Yeah.
Oh, by the way, all you group, while we are trudging through the trees, one of these druids is going to be an elven female.
How do you know that?
Some local knowledge.
Hey,
Local knowledge.
learn something new every day. Can I roll a perception check as well?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, if anyone's trying to be more observant than they're passive and actually looking around, you can feel free to roll.
Okay.
I rolled a 15 in D&D Beyond, and it's not transferring
Another
over.
13.
So
that's gonna be my lucky number now.
let me see anything.
Better than 8.
Zook,
You
Zook
got
has got this.
more eyes to do this. Come on.
Yeah, you got multiple eyes. You're like, I got all this.
You're evolved to keep watch.
Okay. So let's see. Who rolled above a 12? So D, Zook. That it?
Yep.
Okay. So on the ground, McCloud, you see up ahead something that looks like an enormous fungi, something that's probably maybe a little bit bigger than a dog, and it's this kind of green spore-looking thing growing up out of the base of a tree. But from the top of the mushroom, there is a series of these tendrils which look like there's additional mushrooms or something growing up out of it. And as you're getting close, the mushrooms, the stalks, they seem to open up like eyes and look over at you.
That's wow, that's disgusting.
And
That's a great picture you just painted. That was good.
I'm pretty sure I put that into my game that I DM, so that's cool.
From
There you go.
the
But
trees,
Emily doesn't know.
From the trees, Zook, you see up ahead that seeming to be hanging from all of the tree branches up in the canopy, actually fairly hidden, are a whole bunch of chimes all drooped and hanging down from the branches.
Zook's kind of
So
vocally
there's
busy.
chimes in the trees to alert if there's people climbing in the trees. And there's mushrooms with eyes that watch you on the ground. Okay.
I don't think Zook realizes that he's muted.
He's bathrooming. He told us that.
He said he was
Oh.
back. He rolled a perception.
Oh, you did?
Yeah.
Apologies. Yes, I am back. And Zook Spider goes. Recognition.
What does Zook Spider do?
Makes a sound of recognition.
Just like
a bunch of clicking noises.
A click, like,
some chitter.
Like, guys, click, click, click.
Now, how big are you as a huge spider? Are you like 4
as a
feet? Or
like
how
as big as the
enormous?
carriage.
Dire spider.
So I feel like you're probably like, I don't know.
It says I am only smaller than a giant spider. I'm not seeing anything about its specifics.
You can probably choose. Maybe wrong.
Okay. Oh, you're a giant wolf spider specifically, right?
Yes, I'm a giant wolf spider.
Wolfspinner.
Let's see. So you're a medium beast, so you are probably like 3 to 4 feet, and like really, really freakishly big.
That's me.
So yeah, you can use arachnid body language to try to signal other people what you see ahead if you want. I would probably.
That was part of my thought process behind having accompanying people up in the trees. I can't really communicate using verbal language unless I'm casting a spell.
So what are you
Can
trying to just halt
Would we
them
have
or
to roll
do
like?
Can I roll an
Nature.
animal handling check to see
It
if
might
I
be a
can
nature to
understand what he's
understand a spider.
Well, I think I would actually have Zook roll a persuasion check just to try to see how well he's able to communicate
Oh, there you
back
go.
with body language.
Okay.
And that way it stays on his dice.
Rolled an 8.
Oh no.
Okay. Now I will have you guys roll an animal handling check to try to see if you can understand what his movements are meaning.
21.
14. Hey.
Yes, you
My
both
my
can-
8, I managed to roll all 8 of my eyes in a feeling of defeat.
We're going this way.
Sorry, 1 second.
Okay, so now we know there is something.
Sort of use one of my long hairy legs to point past the mushroom pouring towards the direction of where the chimes are hanging.
Oh,
Okay,
look
yeah,
at that.
you can see that they're probably the force floor, or the force is pretty dense, so being able to see ahead is probably only like 40 to 50 feet ahead of you as the chime, so you almost just kind of went headlong into them, but you're able to stop in time. I'm going to also move you on the map if that's fine. So I'm going to put the
Do
three
it.
up in the trees, just kind of on these logs. We'll say you're going there, and then McCloud and Matey, you're kind of falling up from the forest floor, and you see, again, this mushroom-esque looking thing, and that's not a perfect representation of it, but it's not a beholder, but it's kind of like that. It's
Right.
We all just
Tries to look like it.
just take care of ourselves, commit seppuku if it's actually a beholder.
But yeah, it's like this mushroom stalk sticking up about 2.5 feet, and then from the top of this bulbous piece is 4
Ooh.
more stalks growing up, and they all have like an eyeball-looking thing that opens up.
Can I roll a nature check to see if I have because this is in the to see if I have any experience with it?
Well, does McCloud even let you notice?
Well, Zook would have seen that from with a 16 from the treetop as well.
Oh,
he
so
knows
you
it's
saw
down
both
there.
things.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
With a 16, he would have seen it. The wind chimes were harder to see than this, so like basically 12 and up was the mushroom.
Okay. Can I roll to see if I recognize it?
Mhm. And then I would also
And that would
like
be
to
a
know.
nature check, correct?
Yeah, so roll a nature, and then McCloud, what are you doing? It looks like you go up to it.
I mean, is this thing evil?
Woohoo!
Can I, like,
How
Is
long
it
does
evil?
your Divine Sense last?
like, it only works when I, like, use it, I guess. And until the end of your next turn. So
Okay, so yeah, so you'd have to basically
Yeah.
use Divine Sense again to be able to gauge it,
can I use it again?
if you want to.
Okay. Yeah. want
So
to
from
use
up in the trees, Zook, you look down and you recognize this as basically like as a druid, you know of different druid circles that have specialized in like alarm magic and stuff like that. So what you're seeing ahead is probably a series of not necessarily traps, but alarm systems to notify people of trespassers. Down below though is more like a actual alarm guard. It's grown out of a special fungi and kind of imbued with magical energy to basically become not quite sentient, but it's essentially like
It's an organic
Yes,
alarm system that can
exactly.
fight back.
exactly. So that's you don't necessarily know the name for what it would be, but it looks like McCloud is going right up to it. Now, McCloud, as you are casting Divine Sense, you sense the aura from this thing, and at first it comes up showing that it's just kind of it's a natural thing, but then once your spell kind of kicks in, you can see that it is imbued with more of an evil tint to it. And as you're getting close, how close are you getting?
Within striking distance.
Okay, so roll a Wisdom saving throw.
Oh no.
Oh, great. It's gonna freaking mind control me, isn't it? Oh, thank God.
Okay.
Or not.
So
Or not.
the mushroom shudders and all of this pollen-esque looking dust just kind of sprays up into the air.
You are so lucky.
You're with a natural 20, you are able to resist the effects. You kind of just hold your breath for a moment and wave your hand in front of your nose to clear it out of the way. But that was it's held action essentially. Matey in the back, what are you doing? Are you kind of following McCloud up to it or no?
Yeah, I'll walk with him.
Okay.
Because I don't need to breathe these pollen things, they wouldn't really affect me, would they?
No, they would not.
I watch McCloud cover his face and just guffaw.
Okay, everybody please roll initiative. I just opened a tracker, so if you know how to roll in the tracker.
How do you roll on the tracking?
So click your... Actually, if you don't have
What
stats...
you gotta... Oh, sorry.
No, go ahead, I'm not good at explaining that.
Oh, that ain't bad. So what you gotta do is you gotta click on your icon, and then in your character sheet, there should be a little thing that says initiative. You click on the wording initiative, and that'll automatically roll initiative and put you in the tracker.
Oh, we didn't set up all my other stuff yet.
Okay,
think.
just roll normal and then I'll put it in for you.
Okay. Well, mine is 0.
18.
Nice. Good roll. And with a -1 too,
12.
that's still pretty good.
Okay. Oops. So yeah, so you basically all get to go before this thing. So, Matey, you're laughing. What do you do next?
So whilst I'm laughing, my violin from my arm.
I'm gonna run to the restroom really quick, guys. Be right back.
Sure.
I look at the and I go, I had an insult in my head just then, and then it was gone. I tell it, your lips look.
You can do it.
Yeah, that's what I say. I stumble over my insult, but it's still the spell. Right, it needs to make a wisdom save.
Okay, 16.
It passes, so
Okay.
nothing happens.
Yum.
Nothing happens because I stumbled over my insult.
Anything
So
else?
that's why.
Yeah,
Your
sure.
live. Nothing happens.
So there.
Is that your turn?
Yeah, that's my turn.
Okay, Isis. Up in the trees, you see the spider in front of you, just kind of like batting its legs in a very strange manner, and you can tell that something's up ahead. And then looking up, you see the wind chimes, all dotted up ahead, just at the edge of the map, basically right
Okay.
about here.
I'm gonna take a shot at him with my longbow.
Okay, so you see down there, and you want to shoot it.
Yep.
Okay, roll an attack.
So it's an 11.
Okay, you shoot down. It thuds right into the stalk of this mushroom-esque looking thing, and nothing seems to happen. Anything else?
Damn it. Yeah, I'm gonna reload my bow and I'm gonna take another shot. But I'm gonna use where is it? It's a Kensei shot. So you can use a bonus action on your turn to take a ranged attack with a Kensei weapon and deal an extra D4 of damage to the weapon type.
Okay, and is that what's in a Kemsei weapon?
So that's martial weapons.
Oh, okay. Okay, go for it.
So
Aren't they
she's
monk weapons?
yes. So
Yeah.
she's a Kensei master. So the longbow is part of it, and then the Morning Star sword that she carries.
Okay.
So we'll take another shot. That's a 13.
Okay, so that strikes into the thing as well, though it hits more of the bulbous top of the mushroom, and you do 10 points of damage to it.
And then an additional 1 for the Kensei shot.
Okay, that's 11 damage. Oops. Okay.
And then I'm gonna stay right where I'm at, but I'm gonna stay focused on the bells and watch to see if they ring.
Okay. Next,
That's what I'm keeping my eyes on.
Zook.
All right. So I sort of skitter over to it. My spidery legs. And get close enough to be within striking range.
Okay. See how you can get there with your
And-
movement.
Yeah. So I've got brief speed, and I can in any direction.
Mhm.
And I bite. Which is a. Okay.
Yeah. So if that's a 5, then
So
you kind of get up to it, and your hairy spider legs like feeling it all over, and you try to bite it in the stalk where you think it might be able to do some damage, but you just pierce through this rubbery tree-like flesh, and nothing happens.
okay.
What's going on? Or what did I miss?
Some arrows fly down from the treetops. The spider, which I don't know if you saw him transform or not, but this huge spider comes up behind it and tries to use its pincers to bite into this mushroom-esque looking thing, and nothing happens.
Oh.
So next up is McCloud.
Oh, wonderful. I am going to strike it.
Okay. What do you have?
I have a great sword.
Okay, so you
And
just pull
I'm
it
gonna
out
use
and-
Divine Smite too.
Oh, you want to divine smite it?
Yes.
Okay.
I want to. I'm finna kill this thing. So let's see. So wait. So how do I do this again? I roll.
So you just roll
What do I roll
1d20, and then you add your attack bonus.
Crud.
What's your attack bonus?
Would that would be my strength, right?
So it should say on the sword area, if you have a great sword, it should say plus strength and proficiency. So that is probably, I assume, a 5, or do you have anything else?
It's a 5.
Okay, so that's a 12 to hit then. So you bring your sword down and chomp a big piece of flesh off of the mushroom, and basically it's a miss, but you don't do enough damage to actually kill this thing. So nothing
To harm
happens.
it.
Yeah.
Wonderful.
So your blade chops straight through, leaving this big wedge in the mushroom thing. But it's not a humanoid foe, so you don't know if you actually hurt it. So so that is your attack action. Do you want to move at all, or do you want to stay where you're at and just wait till the next turn?
Yeah, I'm gonna wait here. I'm gonna stay right here.
Okay, Emily.
Does it look like it's been legitimately hurt at all?
It looks like one of the arrows seems to have did some damage hitting it at the center of the top.
All right.
Of the stump.
Isis is gonna see my eyes go a little darker as a sort of ethereal bell rings out as I cast Toll the Dead, and it's gonna have to make a wisdom save.
Okay. It's a 15.
Yeah, that beats 14.
Anything happen or no?
Let me check the spell. Wiz save to none.
Whoops.
Okay, so no, that's a none.
Okay. Its turn, except I just clicked out of Roll20 on accident, so 1 second. Okay, so its turn. The 4 eyeballs, one spins around and hones in on Zook, this mushroom with an eyeball centered in the top of it, bends down and looks at you. Please make a wisdom saving throw.
Okay.
Ooh.
No. It's not good.
Okay.
Oh,
So Miss Vera, we've got another task for you.
You see with your many spider's eyes this kind of myriad of vision that's all like the same picture blended it together to see what's in front of you, and this mushroom all of a sudden changes into a giant hawk, something that is about probably 8 feet tall compared to you, and its beak kind of bites down towards you as if it's going to snatch you up in all your spiderness as a delicious meal, and you are frightened. You cannot. You must take a dash action and move away from you by the safest available route on each turn, unless you have nowhere to go. And
Wait, can you say that one more time? I didn't get that last bit.
so you have the frightened condition, so you cannot. You must move away with a dash action on your next turn to get away from this, as you are overcome by fear at this illusionary hawk. The second stock looks at McCloud, and its eyeball just kind of opens up, and then you see this mist of pollen kind of coming out from the eyelids and spraying towards you. Please make another wisdom saving throw.
Please, natural 20 be on my side. Please.
Come on.
Okay, well, that's not
That's so
terrible,
good.
right?
Yep, so that is going to be a pass. You only needed a 12. So you're able to kind of raise your great sword to block kind of your eyes, and you wave your arm around to kind of dust this pollen out of the way as it tries to spray you. Matey, you are right next to it as well. It is going to do the same thing towards you, and you need to make a wisdom saving throw.
Matey doesn't need to breathe. So does that not count, or is this like a psychic thing?
No, that is it's something you would have to breathe. So once again, good save. So you automatically succeed, and this blast of additional pollen just kind of coats your armor or your metal body, and just kind of you've got this green soot. It looks like kind of coating your whole front half. The fourth one is going to look up into the trees where the arrows come from, and it opens up, and then it locks onto both where Isis and Emily are, and then it looks down to the ground and flings its eyeball up again, and a rock that's kind of tucked into the ground lifts up and shoots up at you both.
Deflect missiles.
Okay, how does that work?
So with deflect missiles, you roll damage. I can use my reaction to deflect or catch a missile when you are hit by a ranged weapon. If you do so, the damage taken from the attack is reduced for 1d10 plus 7. If you reduce it to 0 and have a free hand, you can spend a key point to make a ranged attack as a monk weapon and throw it back.
Okay, so it's gonna throw land a 20 to hit you. It's gonna do 1d6 damage from bludgeoning, just from the rock. So that would have been 4 damage. So for deflect missile, you can basically roll a d10 and try to undo that.
Yeah, but it would be plus 7 anyway. So if the max max damage is 6, I would have. So pretty much it's flying at Emily, and Isis just reaches her hand down and goes and catches it, and then throws it back down on the ground. She's not going to throw it at it; it's a waste of a key point.
Yep. Okay. So yeah, it just
she catches it just
ground.
before it hits Emily's face.
You had a Matrix Neo moment and just stop the bullets.
Then
exactly.
So that is the 4 eyeball stalks, and then as the final thing it does is the kind of bulbous head on top of the main stalk kind of rolls up, and then you hear this, or you don't hear anything, but you see this kind of visible shudder and this sonic wave shoot up into the air. And that's its turn. Matey.
Do you work hard to be such a dour tosser? And a wisdom save, please.
That's an 11.
Okay, cool. He takes 2d4 psychic damage. I forgot to add in that it levels up at level 5. I'm an idiot. So he takes 2d4 psychic damage, and he has disadvantage on his next turn if he manages to.
He doesn't, because he has 13 hit points, and so between the 2 arrows, that one arrow that hit it, and then your mocking it dies, what do you want to do to kill it? Just what happens?
I mean, as soon as I say that, its eyes, like, all of its eyes pop in sequence, and it just falls over.
Perfect.
Matey looks surprised, in fairness. He didn't think that was the end of it. He just goes, oh, okay.
It gains sentience just to be mocked to death.
Oh.
Hey, some ways you gotta go. Sometimes you're all the gelatinous cube, and sometimes you just get, verbally abused. It kind of varies.
So, everybody can roll perception checks if they want.
Perception? Oh boy.
Perception, yes.
Wait, okay.
That's not very nice. D20. Roll 20.
Wait, what am I supposed to... Wait. Did I roll the right thing?
Perception.
Yeah, so your perception is basically your wisdom bonus.
Which is 0.
Okay, so let's see. So Emily, no. D'Angelo, yes. Isis, yes. What about Emily and Zook?
Matey. You guys gotta roll perception.
Well, I know for sure that D'Angelo or McCloud, you see a couple seconds passing after this fungi thing shuddered and caused that kind of silent blast up into the sky. You're starting to see some movement amongst the trees around you. Zook, you also see it. You're no longer frightened, actually, because the thing just died. And so you're about to skedaddle off, and you see the vision of the hawk just kind of shrink and disappear, and it's just this dead fungus thing with the eyeballs just splatting one by one. And then you see kind of behind McCloud and Matey a couple of the trees beginning to move.
The trees themselves are moving, or the leaves are ruffling like there's something in the trees?
Nope, the trees themselves are moving.
Oh, that's lovely, considering we're surrounded.
Right.
Can I, because I'm perceiving this, can I also do a nature check to see if I understand what's going on?
Okay, well, let's keep the initiative order just because. So, Matey, you did not pass an initiative, or did you? No, you did. So you're seeing this as well. Let me convert these all to normal screen.
Oh, Jesus.
Oops.
Oh, Jesus!
Okay, so these trees are beginning to kind of like sway and move, having been awakened by the alarm. Matey, what do? You just killed it, so you have a move and a bonus.
I'm just going. Sorry. I'm going to just sort of ready myself. I don't think I can prepare an action yet, can I? Because I've used my action.
Yeah, so you could move or bonus.
All right. Has anybody been hurt? I don't think anybody's been hurt.
Nope.
Nope, not yet. Give it time.
Yeah, I was
Well,
gonna
there's
say that.
4 of them.
Yeah.
Oh,
Isis,
whoa,
don't die
okay.
again.
Nope.
Yeah, no,
Uh,
Matey doesn't have anything to do with them.
Okay, so next up is Isis.
I end my turn.
Not gonna do
Isis,
anything, bro.
with a 13, you do perceive this as well. Looking left to right, you can see kind of a couple of the trees beginning to awaken, shaking themselves to life. Leaves just rustling and some dead leaves falling down from it. You see some of them have kind of drooping these small branches or perhaps vines, and they seem to be rustling to life. What do you do?
Do I see this guy?
Oh, sorry, he's not supposed to be there.
Oh.
He's not there. Don't worry about it. Don't worry.
Okay.
You do not see that.
Ooh, what am I gonna do? So she's gonna leap from tree to tree and get to this guy.
Okay.
Oh, well, she's gonna go around Emily, I guess. And
Think
on her
about
way,
this.
on
Think
her,
about it
her.
carefully.
on her way past Emily, she's gonna be like, "Look alive! We've got live trees," and then she's gonna take a swing at this one with her Morningstar blade.
Okay.
Emily just kind of passes more trees. That's it.
That's an 11.
So Morningstar, that's a mace basically, right? A spiked mace.
It's a sword.
So it does
Well,
slashing
this
damage.
is a rather
piercing
unpleasant
damage.
situation.
Okay. So yeah, you hit the tree. It's just tons of bark and branches everywhere. So you just swing it down, slice or kind of punching it. Or I keep thinking a Morningstar is a mace with little spikes on it. Are you sure?
It's a spiked mace.
Is it? Oh,
Isn't
okay.
it a flail actually?
No, flail's on a chain. A
Yeah, I
Morningstar
know.
would be on a.
It can be either. It can be on a chain. or it
Okay,
can
that's
be-
fair.
Oh, hey, yeah, it's a spiked ball mace.
So what kind of damage
Perfect.
does it do?
It's piercing damage.
Piercing. Okay. So
I
you
got them
hit it,
spikies.
and it just breaks off some of the branches a little bit, leaves some marks from where the spikes hit. But yeah.
Okay, and then as my bonus action, I'm gonna kick that exact area that I just hit with my Morningstar, and try to deal the more damage in the area that I just hit. So that
Okay.
would be an unarmed strike. That's a 16.
Okay, that also hits. What kind of damage?
So that's just bludgeoning damage.
Okay.
And so that's 4 points of bludgeoning damage.
Okay. So you stomp kind of down and crack the branch. That is your turn.
That is the end of my turn, and because she's a Kensei master who used an unarmed strike for her second attack, her AC is now 17 instead of 15.
Okay, good.
Yay.
Zook. Spider Zook.
Yes. So Spider Zook.
Spook?
Spider Zook is going to do a nature check, just to see if I can recognize like what's happening.
Absolutely.
Which is a 10. I don't know why it keeps double rolling these.
Yeah, with a 10, these are trees. As a druid, I would say that you probably still would recognize them even with that. These are awakened trees. which can be another triggered alarm.
Alarm system.
Essentially. So it's you would assume that the spore guy was able to send out this
Alert this
Yeah,
larger attack force.
exactly.
Okay. Okay. Then I will. Ooh, use my action or my bonus action. What would the nature count or nature check for?
That's basically just like your perception's free.
Okay. So then I'm going to skitter away on my 8 legs, past the corpse of that mushroom thingy, and get closer to Cloud. Get out of striking range from the trees.
Okay. If you are going to leave its threat radius, because it is next to you.
Yes, I know there's the attack of opportunity.
Yeah, and this one is basically a
Well, if
branch
you-
that just swings down, trying to hit you, and it's going to do a. Let's actually, I need to go back to its stats. It's going
If
to
you
do
don't plan on doing
12.
anything else, you could just disengage.
This is true. If you want to just retreat, you can disengage, and it will not be able to attack you.
Then
that
yes,
is your
that is what I will do.
Okay. Then yeah, you are safe.
Somebody has got some bad feedback.
Oh, we're okay again.
McCloud.
Well, okay. Well, okay, yeah. Well, geez, I don't know. This is unpleasant. This is a really unpleasant situation. I don't really. Wait, so Isis, you were able to weaken that one a little bit, right?
It took the hit.
Okay. So, is it like far enough, or is it close enough for me to walk up to it?
Yeah, you can charge up to it. Yeah, for sure.
Okay, I'm gonna charge
I
up
hit
to it,
this one.
and I am going to. I'm gonna strike it. So let's see.
That will hit.
For real?
No,
Oh,
I mean,
good.
it's a tree. How hard is it to hit a tree with a sword?
I mean, I don't know.
The trick is how much
I don't
damage
really
are
like
you going to do
trees.
to it? Now, describe your attack to me.
Well, I mean, this isn't super strong of a hit, so I guess I'd say that I kind of like stumble up to it a little bit, and I come down with like the full force of my body, and my sword gets kind of like stuck in it, and then it comes back out again.
Kind of like you're splitting wood with the sword, so you just kind of hack
Right,
into the bark.
yeah.
Right,
Yeah.
so roll your damage. You have a great sword,
Okay.
right?
Yes, sir.
So it should say something like 2d6.
So 2d6 plus 2. And then does my strength have a play in that too?
I think that probably is your strength. So
Yeah,
that's-
that's right.
So
It
that's
is plus 2.
Now, what type of damage is it? It'd be not piercing, but it'd be slashing, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so that is so that's 11 damage as you slice down and hack a big piece of the trunk out. Next is going to be Emily.
Alright, Liz is gonna take a little step back, just not this time, Emily, not this time, and is gonna roll for an Eldritch Blast. What?
Yo, nice.
Nice. Which one are you shooting?
The one next to Isis.
Yep. So that definitely hits. Roll your damage and describe what happens.
That is a D10. Click. Ooh. So I've backed up and readied myself, and I really don't want to miss like last time. And I managed to launch my flowing white arcane ball towards it with the gold and silver tendrils wrapping around it, flowing like the Sylvan script itself, and it crunches right into the center of it, as I did get a 25.
Yep, and that's force.
That is, yes, force.
Yeah. So as it hits it, just kind of wood splinters behind the force of this eldritch blast, kind of creating a hole through one of the pieces of the trunk. It seems to be fairly effective against it.
I did it! I did it! That's you can hear quite obnoxiously loud cries behind you, Isis. Just, I did it!
Okay. It is their turn. So the trees, the roots kind of pop above the surface, scattering a spray of dirt up into the air, and kind of like creak and groan, and the roots start to slide forwards as this whole tree begins to shift up. Basically, the one below McCloud, I'm not going to move it because it's already next to you, but it kind of gets right up close to you. And then part of the root base kind of leans up out of the dirt with all these spider-like tendrils of roots, and it tries to bring it down on you in this kind of stomp. Seeing as though you're a dwarf, you're short enough for it to reach up and try to stomp on you, essentially. However,
Wonderful.
it's slow still as it's still awakening, and you're able to just step out of the way. And there's this big thud as it hits the ground again, and the roots immediately begin to stab into the ground and re-penetrate the earth. The other one, which is right up by Isis and McCloud, it's not going to try to stomp, but it's going to wiggle the top of the tree a lot and basically try to bend over and bat Isis with an attack as well. And that's going to be a 24. I'm going to assume.
Sorry, that hit.
No.
Are you
No.
Do not have a repeat,
You're not
guys.
dead, are you?
So that will be
Probably not.
10 damage as this tree trunk kind of whacks you. And it's not so much a big solid piece of wood as a whole bunch of tiny little branches, some of them breaking upon impact against you. But it's like getting whipped almost by this flurry of twigs.
That is understandable.
For the other two, their roots kind of do that wriggling as it starts to pull itself through the earth. It kind of gets to the embankment and bends over just enough to try to whack Emily from behind. Does a 17
boy.
hit you?
Me? Yeah.
Okay, and then you will take 7 points of bludgeoning damage as it just kind of comes out from behind and this branch whacks you. Then the other one, let's see, how fast can they move? Just enough to reach to get over to Matey. This other tree tries to stomp you from behind the same way it did to McCloud. And does a 24 hit you?
Do you know what? Actually, no, it. Yes, it does.
That's 8 points of damage as these roots come down, almost trapping you down from below, but they're not strong enough to hold you down, and you kind of emerge breaking some of the wood, but you've taken 8 bludgeoning damage. And then it's Matey, your turn.
Wait, so who's hurt right now?
Some people up in the tree above you.
Okay, so Matey is currently being attacked by a tree, right?
Yes.
Right.
Correct.
So he is going to turn and face the tree and say, "That was a stupid idea." He plays a very quick riff on his violin, and he casts, I think it's called Thunderclap. Yeah,
Thunderwave or Thunderclap? Okay. Ooh.
Yep, let's set off the bells again. That's a great idea.
No. No.
So each creature other than you within 5 feet must make a Constitution saving throw. Within
Including
5
us.
What?
feet.
You're gonna kill us.
So,
Zook, you're fine, but Emily's
so
not.
Emily will need to make a Constitution save.
Well,
as
how
well.
far up? How far up in the tree am I?
That's a good point. If you're up in the tree, you're at least 10 feet high, so you will not be in a 5-foot radius. Barely
Thank you.
just away. And that is a Constitution, so it's a 17.
That what? That's 17.
Yeah.
Okay, that beats it. Great, nothing happens aside from a sudden explosion of sound.
In the distance, there's ringing chimes as this thunderclap rings through the forest.
My
Next.
ears start to bleed.
Anything else on your turn?
No. Matey realizes now that was a really dumb idea.
Oh, come on, Grumps. Emily shouts from the tree. Yes, I called you Grumps.
Go away and bile your head. But yes, that's my turn. Isis.
Okay. So I'm gonna take another swing. First, she's gonna glare at the tree, like that was really rude, and then she's gonna take another swing with the Morning Star. That's a 15 to hit.
Yep, for sure.
Awesome. And then we're gonna spend a key point to do Fury of Blows. That's 2 unarmed strikes.
Okay.
So first strike is a 19 to hit,
Yep.
with a 6 for bludgeoning, and then a 16 to hit with another 6 for bludgeoning.
Okay. So you're
And
breaking branches, kind of stepping in and crunching these limbs off from the tree. It's actually looking like you're getting to the source of the magical energy at the trunk, and it looks to be like it's almost gonna go down, like it's gonna lose its magical imbuement.
Hey, this one's almost down. And that's
Zook.
the end of my turn.
Okay, so this, the tree that's kind of cornered to me, it moved forward and back in striking range, correct? Since the last turn, I disengaged and scuttled away.
Yeah, so it is now engaged with Matey, but it's up next to you as well.
Okay. Okay. If I tried to escape, would it have an attack of opportunity?
Yes, because you're now once again within its threat radius.
Okay. Then I am going to go ahead and since I only got one thing I could do, aside from running away, is I'm gonna bite.
Okay.
So I will.
Yeah, I mean, that hits. It's not going to take a con save just because it's a tree. The poison's not going to really do anything.
I know. I was thinking about that. I was like, I don't think you could poison a tree.
But for your pincers just kind of bite into the bark, and as you release it, having injected venom, it's still there. It doesn't look like you did terribly a lot to it. Anything else?
Well, I curse my spider form and do nothing.
Okay. Next, McCloud. So I think you're actually next to the tree still.
Yeah, I'm right here.
Yeah.
Let's see. Which one was about to go down?
The one that you've chopped before.
That one?
Mm-hmm.
On the right? Okay. And this other one's just like still full HP.
Yep.
Okay. I'm gonna strike the stronger one. Since that one's about to go down, I think somebody else can finish that off.
Okay.
Please. Oh.
That'll hit.
Oh,
you
okay,
you
good.
basically need to roll an 8 to hit this tree.
Oh, well, yeah, you're right. Like you said, how hard is it to hit a tree?
Yeah.
And then damage.
So that's 8 total. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay,
Whoa,
so
why'd
that's
the tree move?
Because I needed to get to the icon that I couldn't see.
Okay, sorry.
Yeah, so you slice it. I don't know if it's like a left to right stroke, and you just cut a big wedge into the tree. Anything else you want to do? Do you have any bonus actions?
Can I use Divine Smite?
Whenever you use a Divine Smite, yeah, if you just have to land a hit first. So if you want to charge that strike with your magical energy, you definitely can.
Okay. 2d8. That's 12. And
That's
additional, right?
Okay, and what kind of type of damage is that?
Radiant.
Okay. So, what does it look like as you charge this magical swing with the radiant energy?
So like the great sword gets like engulfed in like blue holy flame, and it hits the tree, and the bark like catches fire a little bit, and the tree kind of like shudders, and then I hack it out and pull it back.
Yeah, I like to think as you withdraw the blade, you see this kind of crack splinter up the part of the tree as this big crack emerges. Next up is Emily.
Emily flashes with some golden mist and reappears over here. It's doing Misty Step.
Okay, and that does not provoke an attack of opportunity, I don't think.
That's a bonus action.
Yep, it doesn't, because you're
But
leaving the
probably-
threat radius, it nullifies that, right? Misty Step just automatically moves you. It doesn't get an
Yeah.
attack? Okay, good.
Then we're gonna turn around and Eldritch Blast. They got that one. No, attack economy is important. No, but do I know that? Whatever. I'm gonna attack the furthest down one. Click. 18.
Interesting. So the one that McCloud just hit?
This one.
Okay.
Wasn't McCloud hitting this one?
Nope.
No, I hit the other one.
No,
Okay.
Isis
So
is
yes, I'm hitting
this
this one.
Okay, so you're hitting the one that Isis is fighting.
Please
I-
hit that one. It's almost dead. I beg you. Because they go next turn. Keep that in mind.
Yes, so choose. Emily
Yeah,
reappears.
I probably would have gotten the one just to finish things off.
Okay, is that your choice?
Yes.
Okay, how do you want to kill it?
Oh my god.
You're welcome.
Actually, I'm gonna have to make you roll damage, but go ahead and roll first because it's not close enough where you would insta kill it. I'm pretty sure you would just because of the damage type, but
8 force.
the 8, so 16 force would kill it. Yes. You shatter
Alright.
the tree. The bark kind of splinters. The lower half cracks were off from where McCloud had originally hit it, and the spot that Isis had kind of been breaking the branches off, it just kind of falls apart, and it collapses, falling backwards. Oops, wrong thing. It's supposed to do.
And then I'm going to make my way back here.
Okay. Their turn. So McCloud, the one that you just struck, groans this kind of timber creaking noise, and it lifts its roots back up and tries to rotate itself to stomp back down on you. It's not able to get in a good enough position to land on you though, and there's just this big thump, and dirt kind of sprays up, coating your boots. And then you stand as tall as you can, ready to strike it again. Over behind where Emily was, this tree just kind of circles around, and they seem to gang up on Matey. Zook, you are unnoticed by these trees in your spider form, but kind of blending into the natural landscape
What
around
an
you.
ass.
Both of them attack, and that's 19 and a 21 on Matey.
Yeah, funnily enough, both of those.
Okay, so that's going to be 27 points of damage as these two big mess of tangle of roots kind of collapses down, trying to squash you into the earth.
I'm still standing, somehow.
All right, that's their turn. Next up is Matey.
Get the hell away from me! And I'm going to cast... I think I'm going to cast Shatter.
Ooh, that's good.
Actually, I'm going to cast Shatter at 3rd level, not 2nd.
Ooh.
Okay. So it's a 10-foot radius sphere, so you can catch both of them with it, right?
Yeah. So they need to make con saves.
Now, it says inorganic materials such as stone or crystal or metal has disadvantage. They're wood, so that technically is an organic, or no? That kind of
Would be
Wood is
organic.
organic.
Living wood would count as organic to me. So they just need to make a normal con.
Okay.
Yeah, I would agree with that.
Well, either way, they rolled 2, so
Wow, they both failed. Nice.
I guess technically they roll a 5, or was it 4?
So
They've got a +2.
that's 3d8 is at second, so they both take 4d8 damage. Hang on.
And what type of damage is this?
This is
Thunder.
thunder damage.
Okay.
Shattering damage.
Yeah.
They both take 27 damage.
Hey, that's a bitch.
How do you want to kill them both?
As I say, get the hell away from me. I play the sharpest note that I can on my violin. It's not a note, it's a screech of tortured strings.
The bark.
There's like silence for a second, and the trees start splitting and cracking apart and just crumble in front of me.
Yeah, absolutely. There's like wood chips collapsing all over the place into the ground. Just the leaves and vegetation just kind of floating down after it, as they were just both completely are eradicated by that noise.
Crazy.
Isis.
You just hear, that was awesome! As loud as she can shout, and then she's going to bounce from tree to tree and get to this one.
Did you hear any of that?
Her morning star.
I think I was muted that whole time. Sorry about that.
We were listening to
No, we
you.
heard it. We heard
you.
it.
Why does it say I was muted?
No clue.
Alright, carry on.
No. So she just screams. She's like, wow, that was awesome! And then she bounces from tree to tree, and she's going to hit that one with her morning star at a 19 to hit.
Yep, that hits.
Awesome. So it's 11 points of bludgeoning damage. And then again, spending another key point to do Fury of Blows.
Okay.
So 2 unarmed strikes. First one's a 7 to hit.
That one is the first time that you will miss it.
I went to punch, but the pieces of the tree from the morning star come up and hit my face, and I'm like, so spent my time like fapping about it in my face.
Okay.
Second hit is a 23.
Yeah, that hits.
Refocus, spam for 7 points of bludgeoning damage.
Okay. Yeah, and you strike against the tree, and the crack that's kind of running from bottom to top kind of splinters a little bit more, and it almost reaches up to the top. Zook.
I will scuttle over to this one to be within striking range, and I will bite it again.
Okay.
I go. No? More time? Yeah.
Okay. So it looks
So
like
it's a
we'll-
19.
Okay, so we'll do 3 points of piercing damage. Okay. Yeah, same thing. You can just kind of come over, bite it in the root, sink down this poison into the wood. It happens whether you control it or not. So even though it's immune to it, you just release this venom. Withdraw your pincers, kind of look up and see that it is still standing. It looks like it's getting a beating from the crew, but that puts us to McCloud.
Let's see. I am gonna go over to Matey and use Lay on Hands.
Okay. It swings at you as you leave the threat radius. Doing
wonderful.
a 14 to hit. Or sorry, no, a 15. It's got a +5.
So it hit me.
It doesn't?
Oh, it doesn't. Okay.
Does it? Or
Good.
no? What's your armor?
Oh, 16.
Yeah, so it swings at you, but you just kind of get out of the way. Your little dwarf legs carrying you just outside of its reach.
Yeah, I was about to say, if a paladin only has 1 more AC than Miss Warlock over here, that'd be interesting.
So yeah, you reach over to Matey, and what happens as you put your hands down on this robotic bard?
Well, I mean, how badly is he messed up here? I can't even see how much HP he has left.
Is 9 left.
I
He's
have
leaking
9.
oil in like all places out of every.
I have
little
9
nook
hit
and
points
cranny.
out of 44.
Yeah. So all the oil is like leaking out of you. I just kind of run my hands over you, and all the oil kind of just swirls up and goes back into your body, and metal pieces clang and click back together. And
So I feel like McCloud is now officially kind of tinkers around
I'm a
with
mechanic
mechanics.
too.
He's
Yeah.
a tinkerer now.
So how much are you healing me for?
Oh, I mean, wait, let me see how much it is.
At level 4, I think your pool is 20. I think it's 5 per level.
Really?
I
Oh,
think-
cool.
Yeah,
So
it's,
it's at 20.
5 per level.
You can expend 5 hit points from your pool to
Yes.
cure the target. Okay, yeah, no,
So you can do
20.
anywhere between 1 and 20 healing.
20. Give him the max.
You heal me 20.
Yeah. Yeah, you're welcome.
Matey
wanna
does
repeat.
not say thank you. Record. I'm saying thank you. Matey doesn't.
Oh, okay.
Because
Matey's just like,
Matey's a
yeah,
dick.
okay, cool. Yeah, I mean, I've heard
Emily.
stories.
Well, Emily feels significantly less threatened, and certainly not from the tree blocked by 2 people. So Emily's gonna come on up and throw that Fey magic at him again. 15
Yeah, damage?
to hit.
Yep, and what's your damage?
Oh,
Jesus.
I'm making the same mistakes as last time. I'm not getting hit in the head. Listen, I was really conked out. I couldn't hit anything.
Okay. Yeah, this
I
blast
understand.
really lowers. It looks like it's withering tons of blows now, and it's on its last limbs.
To speak.
But then it does get to go, and having missed McCloud, it's just gonna try to tank a stomp. This time it notices Zook down by its roots, and it's gonna try to squash it like a spider. But it rolls an 8. Oh, sorry, 9, and I presume that misses.
My armor class is 13.
Yep. So you are much too agile for it, and these roots just kind of land down, and it seems to do nothing else.
Adrian,
Yes.
I would like to activate Sentinel.
Okay, tell me what that does.
When a creature within 5... Yes, I took that feat with her. When a creature within 5 feet of you makes an attack against a target other than you, you can use your reaction to make a melee attack against the attacking creature.
Okay, go for it.
So it's like, don't hit my friend with a 10.
Okay.
Does it hit?
It does, yeah.
9 points of damage.
Yep, so you just bat this mess of roots out and crunch through a lot of it. There's a groan, and the tree kind of shakes slowly at the top. It's not doing well. Next up is Matey.
Matey nods at McCloud. That's the best you're gonna get, mate. He just goes nod, and then turns to fight the tree.
Physically says nod.
Yes,
Basically says
he does not nod. He just goes nod, and then looks back.
I can see that happening. I mean, it didn't get across in the code. That's fine.
Emily has it in the room.
He's still a bit mucked up from having his head nearly caved in.
Oh yeah, totally.
I'm sorry, I missed that.
He points at the tree, and he yells, "You're not half the man your mother is." And that's a wisdom save.
It just groans and
It
doesn't do anything.
Oh right, it's a tree. They don't have parents. I need to workshop. I need to workshop these insults better.
Get a target audience going.
Okay. Next up is Isis.
Another swing with the Morning Star. 10 with 10 points of damage.
Okay. All right, and you crunch it, and the wood is splintering. It looks like it's about to go down.
And then an unarmed strike, which is a natural 20.
Okay, how do you want to kill it?
The highest point on the dice is 4. So she's going to spring off of the tree that she was on and come down at the opening that they've been creating and just come straight in with a foot.
Yeah, and you splinter through straight and come out the other side, and the tree begins to just collapse under the weight of its missing part of its trunk, and it just collapses down and begins to fall away from you guys. And
She grabs the nearest tree and flips back on it, so she's still up in the trees and level with Emily.
Nice. Okay, we are out of combat. Do you mind if we take just a brief break? I need to go do something for the kids.
Yeah, that's all good.
Sounds good to me.
Okay, so just 3 to 5 minute break.
Go for it.
Sounds good. Sounds good.
Does that count for a 30-minute break in game so I can get my spell back?
Avoid that from now on. That's my goal.
That's a good idea. That's a great idea.
And so far,
I
it's
am-
proven to be effective.
Okay. Well, good job, you guys. I was actually very impressed with that shatter from Matey.
Yeah, that was fucking awesome.
What was it, like 27 times 2? So you one hit killed them both.
Those level 3 spells, man.
I'll get those and only those next level. Yay, Warlock.
Is it Warlock that they
Our spell slots are
cast
locked.
spells? Yeah. I couldn't
And
remember if, and Sorcerers
this-
is the same way.
I mean, okay. So, Warlocks have known spells instead of prepared spells. And it's like the locked at a specific level that I have to cast.
Yeah, so you get basically like 2 spells per short rest, and they have to be from any of the ones that you're aware of, I believe, unless you're using
Correct.
your book or something to like do a ritual. in
Well,
which
but that's a ritual. That doesn't
Yeah.
count. That doesn't use
Yeah.
it.
But that's still
I
from
do have
the-
my book, yes.
Doesn't your book can't have spells that you can't cast normally, or no?
It can have any ritual spell from any domain.
Yeah, from like any class even, right?
Yeah.
That-
Yes.
Yeah.
I also have 3 cantrips from any class as well.
Mhm.
So is it the Sorcerers then that they will always cast the spell at whatever level they're at?
No, that's a Warlock.
That's a Warlock. Okay.
Yeah, so
I would get those
sorcerers.
confused.
Warlock's spell slots are locked in place for which level you can cast.
Yeah, sorcerers.
got it.
Right now, I can only cast second level spells or cantrips.
Sorcerers have the advantage of they
Got
have
it.
fewer spells than wizards do, but they can cast any of those spells without like needing to study in the morning to choose which
And of
ones.
course, they also get
Gotcha.
meta magic.
Yeah.
That's fine.
Okay, got
Meta
it.
magic could be buffed a bit, in my personal opinion, but that's neither here nor there.
I think there are a few new meta magic options, but I haven't been able to actually get any word.
Okay, what now? There's a bunch of tree corpses around us. And we're all slightly hurt. Well, all. Mr. Spider.
I happily click my talons.
The mandible is just...
You just see Isis rubbing her head, like.
If we wouldn't mind holding back for a little while and then continuing further.
Yeah, I think a short rest would be a good.
I agree. So get my key points back.
I'm gonna climb my place into this tree specifically to take my rest. Oh.
I play a jaunty little tune.
Okay, so I get my spell slot back. Well, presumably, would we be able to the short rest? That's still up to the DM. Adrian.
Alrighty, let's see.
Oh, you're not coming through pretty well.
Yeah, I do not hear you.
I heard like little.
Testing.
You're very quiet.
Testing.
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 Oh boy, this is not going well for us.
Okay, so yeah, if you guys want to
Oh,
take.
there you are.
Can you hear me?
Yes, now I can.
Yeah, now we can.
Well, I don't even know what happened or what changed.
No clue. It's fine.
Okay, so basically, we'll wait until Dee and Zook both get back, but you can take a short rest.
Back.
Is it successful?
It is.
Yay! So, Song of Rest. Extra 1d6. Okay. D8. I forget. Are hit die with
Ouch.
con, or are they just
yes.
flat?
You add
With
con
con.
bonus.
Okay. Click 4.
Oh, good. My con is +3, so that is 4.
Matey's a tough
6.
boy.
10. Yay! Guys, we're doing so well.
God. People in their fucking base in their cars. Sorry. I can hear it in my house.
Yeah, I have to keep track that I have 3 hit dice right now.
Ooh, thanks to that Song of Rest, I managed to get my health exactly up to full. Neither more nor less.
Nice.
So in the background, are you just like taking a screwdriver and just tightening something on your violin arm and just kind of putting it back?
Yeah, Matey has a lot of interesting devices in his left hand. His violin transforms into a blowtorch. Nobody's entirely sure how, Not even him.
That's fair enough. Innate abilities.
Hey, Matey, how are you doing that while welding his face together? I don't know. No shit. He uses heat metal to heat himself up in order to weld himself back together.
There you go.
Fabulous.
No, that's awful, and he's going to die.
Well, just don't overheat it. It's fine.
Let's get a hammer to come out of your left hand so you can bash it back together.
So prestidigitation allows
Yes.
me to heat, cool, or flavor non-living material. Matey would like to make himself spicy.
Oh, what?
Matey's already spicy.
If anybody licks him, he now tastes like ancho chili. For the record, do not lick the robot.
Do not lick the robot. He comes with a warning label.
Alright.
Emily is gonna sly-handedly prestidigitate that taste off of him if I can see him do any weird stuff with that.
Okay.
He's not doing anything weird with it. He just thinks it's fun.
So tell me what you guys are all doing with your short rest. Are you just kind of hanging out on the forest floor? Did you all climb the trees, or what are you doing?
I'm in my tree absorbing the fayish wild lands around me.
Okay.
Spider Zook has climbed back up a tree and is pensively watching the area where I noticed chimes.
Okay, so it makes it sound like both Zook and Emily are rolling perception checks.
Oh no, mine would certainly be passive. Like, I'd love to roll perception, but
Okay, well, I already did that one for you, so you're good.
Got blind sight and dark vision, so I will make a.
Oh, that's
passive
right.
or
It's
active
like
perception?
it's nighttime, huh? I forgot about that. Yeah.
no problem for me.
So if
Sorry, you said passive or
So-
active?
I already
I'm doing
noted
that.
down your passive, so if you want to actively, like you're on watch active, then you can roll.
Yes, that is what I will do. I am watch spider right now.
Well, no, that's not.
Yes.
I wouldn't be looking at nothing. It still doesn't work. God damn it! The same as before.
So it's towards the end of the short rest. Spider Zook, you do notice somebody coming through the treetops from beyond where the chimes were rung, and it seems to be a humanoid creature kind of surfing through the trees, sort of, and he comes to a stop far enough away where you can like barely kind of see he's there, and he seems to be just crouching, pretty far away, but just kind of watching you guys. And you see this guy up in the corner, and he's keeping his distance, and he's just observing you.
What guy?
Hey, guy.
Hey, guy.
Oh, there he is.
Does Spider do anything to alert?
Yeah, so I'm gonna climb down from my hidey hole up in the trees, and I will. And again, none of you guys can really talk to me. I guess Isis, who I sort of communicated with before, I will sort of tap her on the chin with my long spider legs and sort of my mandibles gesture in that general direction.
Yeah, I think for anyone except for Isis, who comes from being a drow, would be very unsettled by this. But the fact that you are a drow, I figure you probably no stranger or fearful of spiders.
Nah, she's totally fine with it. Would you like me to roll a check to see if I can understand what he's saying?
I mean, it was just a point.
Yeah, if it's pointing, I'd just have you roll a perception if you look over in that general direction.
Sure. 21.
Yay!
So you
Same.
you see him just barely. It takes you a couple seconds, but being a drow, being more comfortable in the nighttime, you can see that there's this furbolg just kind of crouching in the trees, watching you from a distance.
Can I tell if he's like pinpointed on us?
Yeah, so he can definitely see some of your group. You're probably not sure if he's seen the people who are in the trees, but at least Matey and McCloud he can see.
So he hasn't figured out us in the trees yet. Okay.
From what you can
I'm
see, no. He is
From what I can-
he's fairly far away, so it's kind of hard to get any like 100% accurates, but yeah.
So I'm gonna look at Zook and I'm gonna gesture to making a circle, and then I'm gonna point to myself, and then I'm gonna make a circle going the opposite direction. So it's a flanking motion, and then I would like to stealth and try to get around, like circle around, going this way.
Okay.
And then I would send Zook this way.
Okay. So, are you telling anybody else in your party or no?
I'm gonna reach into my pouch, and I'm gonna pull out a quill and a piece of paper, and I'm gonna scribble the Furbolg northeast, watch for movement, and I'm gonna curl up in a ball, and I'm gonna throw it at McCloud's head, and then I'm gone.
Okay.
I can hear you.
You can?
Yes.
Cool.
So McCloud,
Well, I wrote
feel
a note and I threw it at your head.
So just coming down from the trees, this wadded pieces of parchment just falls down, either on or near your head where you can see it.
Okay. Trying to get my attention. Is this because I was muted and nobody could hear me?
Oh well, we couldn't hear you, but your characters are on the bottom, and then the others are up in the trees. So there's that kind of in character gap.
Hilarious.
Okay, Zook, are you gonna go take off in the other direction as well? Go ahead and put your minis on the farther corners of the map, whichever direction you're going.
Wait, so what's happening now? Are we dispersing and looking for the
No, you
getting a
are
closer
staying
look.
put.
So
Oh.
yeah, if,
Okay, fine.
on the paper, what did Isis write again?
Furbolg, northeast. Zeus and I flanking. Keep an eye out in the trees. Yeah.
Do you would McCloud kind of know what that means, or be able to understand that? Do you think?
What's a furbolg?
It's gonna be gosh, how do you describe a furbolg?
It's a cow giant.
It's like a blue cow person, I guess you could say.
Not quite giant though.
It's a humanoid person, but it's a race.
Okay.
They're sort of like forest guardian. They are typically druidic.
Mm-hmm.
So are we fighting something else? Are we not done? Or
No, I don't. We're not actively engaging. I think we're just getting a closer look.
He's watching
we
us from a
suspect
distance.
they're around?
Yeah, we can see
he's
them. He's up
watching
in the corner.
Oh, okay. Oh, okay. I see him now. Got it. Okay.
He's behind a line of chimes.
The line of chime.
So Zook, if you can roll a stealth check for me.
Yes, and because I am in my spider Zook form, my stealth gets a +7. It looks like.
Let's see if you can put that to good use.
That's awesome.
Is just good because my stealth is -1.
Spider Zook.
So
Has a
then
natural
with my
So that
I
actually
can't
would have
link-
been 14 plus 7, so you actually would have gotten a 21, I think.
because I can't link
Yeah.
age with
Yeah.
beyond 20 for that. But yes, it would be +7.
Yeah, so you are able to get pretty close up to it. Isis, you're traversing the trees from branch to branch. It's not exactly quite linear, but you're able to stealthily move up close to him. Zook, on the other side, you're just crawling across the forest floor, up the trees, across the branches, back down, whatever you need to do to stay stealthy. You're basically invisible. Over back at the camp, Matey, McCloud, and Emily, what are you all doing?
Well, did I notice?
Are you in the treetop?
I am. I'm in my perch.
Yep, you definitely would have noticed them scurrying off and Isis writing the note, throwing it down. Did Isis actually tell you in the treetops, or no?
Nope. Not
Nope.
directly.
I would have hoped that it would have been translated. Unless she saw me do the gestures to Zook.
I may have missed
I mean,
that. Probably. I probably would have missed that. I don't know.
I don't know. I feel like if you were in the treetops altogether, you at least would notice them going off.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, because I mean, I can't communicate any other way than like with my legs and bits. So if you're close enough to see us, then you would definitely.
I would probably slowly work my way along to just like there-ish, just to see what's going. Make sure I can follow you guys and be there to help. But staying in the tree and staying low. Should I roll stealth?
Yeah, if you're trying to be stealthily doing that, then yes.
Just carefully. Bleh. 17.
Okay. So you're trying to stay out of line of
Nice.
sight, going from tree to tree, using the cover of darkness to your advantage. Yep.
Oh yes, certainly.
How about Matey
So
and
how
McCloud?
come this thing hasn't engaged anybody yet?
We're not
It's
close
just watching?
enough.
Yeah, it looks
just
like it's been watching you. You don't know how far long it's been through the short rest that you guys took, the hour break, but it's been there and it's just kind of been watching you.
Okay. Got it. Interesting. Creepy. Who's gonna take a first poke?
I don't know.
Well,
By
it
the
won't
way,
be Matey.
as I'm passing, I just sort of say "stay put," so that we have some normal-looking activity.
Yeah, Matey just continues playing the Song of Rest.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so Isis and Zook, you guys are getting close. What do you want to do? You can now see that he's this lone figure crouched at the top of one of the trees, just kind of peering around the trunk, watching the camp. He's blue-skinned. He's got kind of a shaggy beard, almost like a mane, and his hair is all scruffy. He's got these kind of tanned hides that he's wearing for his outfit, and he's got this staff. Kind of, if you look in D&D Beyond, basically looks very much like the picture Mckenzie posted. Just kind of peering around the corner.
Well, I can talk, and you can click. So I don't know which one's going to be more terrifying for him.
I would assume that it would probably be you that would be more alarming for him, given that this is like the creature that I am. Well, two things. One, I am a druid, like what I assume he is, and two, this is a creature that is native to this sort of terrain. So it would be less unexpected to see me versus you.
Good point. I'm gonna hold my action in the trees and watch Zook. And if Zook looks like he's getting himself into trouble, then I will spring into action.
Would I know if this large cowman is of the giant race?
Man.
I guess you can roll a. I guess that'd just be a nature check. It's a furbolg.
Natur. Okay, that's a flat roll. Oh, okay.
Yeah, so
That's an excellent flat roll.
Yeah, so you would know that it is a giant kin.
Yes, giant kid.
Furbolgs tend to be reclusive. They don't typically go off into cities. They're much more
Right.
much more comfortable in forests and just in nature itself. They usually have tribes that they have in the kind of the wilderlands, or they might, like if they're druids, they might be part of a druid circle. They revere nature and beings of that kind.
Right. Well, that's useful for me, in case things go a little odd for the two of them.
Okay.
Um,
So Zook, I think it's kind of what are you doing?
so I am going to, after a long time, I am going to crawl down into a place where I can maintain a line of sight with the Furbolg, and I am going to shift out of my spider form, so I can try and actively address him verbally.
Okay.
My
Are you
my extra forelegs sort of pull back into my body. You can see my carapace shrink down until it's to a normal gnome size, and trying to just do away with pretense at this point. I just act like I reach out to or I call out to the person and say, "Hello, I'm sorry that we've intruded. I recognize that this is not where we are supposed to be, but we don't mean you any harm. We didn't mean to do anything against your forest."
Okay. As you say that, the Furbolg looks down at you, kind of surprised to see that all of a sudden you're right there by him, and he just jumps off the tree, lands with a thud on the ground, probably like 15 or so feet away from you. I'll just rearrange the map slightly to reflect that. And then he looks cautiously in your direction and kind of looks you up and down. Now, what does Zook look like right now? I know he's a druid, so what's he wearing and
What? So Zook is just wearing his regular leather armor. He's got his quarterstaff in his hand. I mean, outside of that, he looks very much so just like he normally does, which matches the little picture of him.
Mm-hmm. So the Furbolg looks cautious, but he begins to approach, and he says also in common, "What are you doing in the forest? You shouldn't be here."
But we were sent on a recovery mission for some dark artifact, or rather the rubble of it. We had heard that it was spreading corruption through the forest,
Parking lot is open again.
and we were trying to recover it and return it, so that way the corruption could stop.
So he stands fairly tall, at about 7 feet, so he's pretty much larger than you. But he holds out his hand and just like a stop, puts his palm out, and he says, "No, you cannot do this. We must save them, not kill them."
I understand, and I completely agree with you. We aren't here to kill anybody. What happened before? We were just acting in self-defense. We didn't mean to attack anybody. We are just here to recover what was left behind. We aren't trying to kill anyone.
No, you do not understand. The Dryads, we must save them, not kill them.
No, I agree. Believe me,
In uncharacteristic fashion, Emily, listening to this, calls out in giant and says, "What do you need the shards for? How do they help the Dryads?"
So the Furbolg immediately looks up into the forest, his staff kind of bringing up into a two-handed grip, as if he's expecting to be attacked. And he looks around. Are you standing up out of it, or just shouting from the darkness?
I'm still gonna be in the darkness for now.
Okay. And then back at the camp, Matey and McCloud, you can hear Emily shout this in Giant. Do either of you speak Giantish?
Nope.
No.
Ah, wonder what that was.
Sometimes. Yeah, you hear your high-pitched, jolly friend shout this guttural nonsense.
Something.
Norse. It is basically Norse.
Yeah. So the Furbolg looks around at the wilderness, not seeing you, and doesn't respond. And he says, "Tell your friends to come out. If we're going to talk, it is not polite to be hiding."
I agree. Yes. We are not here to harm anybody. We're not here to attack you or your forest. I promise. That being said, maybe it would be better if we had a show of good faith, and I shut down my staff in front of me and step away from it. And I think they would appreciate it if you did the same. Let's just go into this on good terms.
I'll oblige and jump to the ground next to Zook.
Okay. I roll a persuasion check, Zook, with advantage since Emily came out.
Small girl speaks giant.
Okay. Oh, okay. And
With advantage. Oh.
well, woohoo!
Man, that's my job, bro.
So the Furbolg doesn't seem to be lowering his guard too much. He seems to be very wary still. And he says in Giantish to Emily, "For the sake of your comrade, we should speak in common." And then he speaks in common and he says, The marbles that we took, we need it to save the Dryads. If we give it back to them, they will kill the Dryads, and we cannot let that happen. They can still be saved."
Who is them?
Dryads.
Oh.
Oh, them. I think is the Church of Nula. Is that who you're talking about? Do you mean the Church of Nula?
Yes.
You say kill as though it's an active action. Are you saying that Nula have come out to attack before just to kill the Dryad?
There are things going on in this forest that they do not quite understand. There have been actions on both of our parties and on theirs. We cannot be unified the way that they would want. We need them, and they need them gone. But we cannot let them take the Dryads.
I don't think we can only follow your word. We would like to see this location and how it may help your Dryad friends. Show us evidence that this is the truth.
Roll a persuasion check.
Persuasion, that is a +6. Hopefully. 14. It's okay.
So he lowers his staff once again, and he takes a step forward. So he's getting pretty much up into more of a conversational distance from you, pretty much almost directly underneath where Isis is. But still, she's unseen. Matey and McCloud, if you're kind of watching in the distance, you can see this kind of taking place just up there. And the Furbolg holds up his hand again, palm open, and he says, "What do you need to see? Perhaps we can show you."
What does the rubble of this this artifact have to do with the life force of the Dryads?
They are bound to it, cursed. We need to reassemble it so we can free them and uncurse them.
What will you do with the obelisk once reformed?
It will need to remain until we have uncursed them.
Are you able to?
How long do you anticipate this removal of curse?
We do not know.
I'm going to assume, as we are doing this in good faith, that there are no other present threats, me or my friends. Can you swear to that?
I can. We did not mean for the alarms to attack you, so as soon as I heard, I came running. But by the time I had gotten here, it had already happened.
I would like to make a perception check to see if he is lying.
Okay, that'd be insight.
Insight.
Yeah, you can both roll
Oh,
that
so,
if you
oh,
want.
sorry.
Yep.
Well,
I'm
was
pretty
perception.
good at that too. Okay.
Oh, we both got 12, so...
With the same bonus.
Is your insight bonus the same, Zook, as your perception?
My insight is
Oh, yeah.
actually... Yeah, it's exactly the same.
Okay, so yeah, then we'll just say that roll. So the three of you, Isis from above, you can also kind of hear, he seems to be honest.
I turn to Emily and sort of out of the corner of my mouth say, going to have a conversation.
You're going to have to repeat that in Discord a little louder, even though it's whispered.
I said, if we're going to have an honest conversation, I think we all need to.
Agreed.
Um,
I'm going to shout back. Well, call back. Matey, get the armored one over here.
Aye!
I look
Oi,
at
you. Let's move. Yeah,
I look up into the
grab,
trees where Isis was and call her down too.
I grab McCloud by the pauldron and start yanking him towards the...
Oh, you can't do emojis in Roll20.
Okay. So D'Angelo says that McCloud is gonna have to type in the chat for speaking. So McCloud is gonna come over with Matey. How about Isis?
As a show of good faith, since they've already like gestured to the fact that Isis was there, she's gonna take off her bow and toss it down on the ground, so that way, like he knows that she's. And then she's gonna do the same with the Morning Star, so that way he knows that she's coming down unarmed, and then she's gonna jump down from the tree.
Okay. So
everybody is visible now, correct?
yeah, it looks like it. So
so now just readdressing the Furbolg, say, this is all of us. There's nobody else. Nobody else is hiding. We are being open and honest with you. Now we need to understand why the Church of Nula told us that these Dryads had been corrupted and that there was no other way to be able to protect the forest and to protect the town other than bringing that rebel back so it could be destroyed. What is going on? We need to understand this more clearly.
So you should come to our circle. You should speak with the Strida. She can explain. The Druids, the Dryads have been corrupted, and it is true. Once we rebuild the obelisk, they will be able to return. But it is our hope that we can uncurse them and free these spirits. Or at the very least, banish them back to the Feywild.
And all of us here agree that that is the best course of action. We don't want to unnecessarily kill anything. So yes, if you will lead the way, we will happily follow along to learn more about the situation.
Oh, aye, don't we?
Keep watch and keep guard.
Alright then.
Supervise.
Follow me, and I shall take you to our Druid circle. And he would turn to leave. He would actually introduce himself as well. His name is Thorn Holiday.
Thorn.
Thorn or Thorn? Is it an F or is it a T
Thorn. F.
at the beginning?
Born with an app.
Thorn.
It's almost like a slur of fern. There. I think that should show up now.
Awesome.
Okay. So he begins to lead you through the forest, and it's like in the middle of the night, like 1 a.m. right now. So it's dark out. It's hard to see, except for luckily all of you have dark vision, basically, except
It's hard to
Matey.
see except for everyone.
Yeah. So
Except for Matey.
Matey's
For somebody,
probably,
it's just Matey's seeing eye companion. We're just pulling him along next to us.
Oh, certainly.
Just for clarification
Oh,
from a
hell yeah.
DM standpoint, Isis did grab her things and put them back on before she followed him, just so
Yeah,
they're
I
not
Me too.
left in the middle of the woods.
Yes, me too.
okay.
Emily has also like ready to misty step during that entire time, just in case there was some aggressive action.
There doesn't seem to be. He's essentially leading you, his back turned, trusting you to be faithful to your words, and he leads you through the forest for another probably 20 minutes until up ahead, where you saw those kind of torchlight fires in the treetops. You can see a circle of huts kind of built up into the trees. And he begins to lead you up to one of them where you can ascend a spiral staircase, which doesn't seem to be used very much, but considering you're all not druids for the most part and can't traverse through the treetops the way that their primary mode of transportation is, he leads you up the stairs to the top. Once you get to the first kind of the first house or tree hut, he motions for you to go inside, and you see basically it's wood that's been kind of magically sung into molding itself into this house. So inside it's hollow, with very beautiful wooden walls, oak floor, and everything. There's just a naturally grown wooden table sticking up out of the ground and countertops. Some basically doorless cupboards, just alcoves in the wall where there's a bunch of different supplies, lots of nuts and berries and stuff like that. And it's a pretty plain house, but he motions you inside and motions for you to take a seat in some of these large pillow-like chairs, just kind of leaning up against the wall. And he says, "If you will wait here, I will go get the others."
Sure, I don't mind waiting here. And Isis just takes straight off for one of the chairs and just falls face first into it, and then just soaks down. And you just hear like this muffled giggle from inside the pillow.
Yep, it's very fluffy, filled with probably thousands of feathers, like swan feathers or something. It's very, very plush.
Just a bunch of down.
Yeah, exactly. But it's like the size of a bed, almost like a big, big chair pillow.
Yep, just body first into it. Boom, face first.
Okay.
Super happy.
Emily jumps on the one next, or the same one if Isis will allow.
Sure, as long as you don't land on
Hell
me.
yeah. Well, I'm not gonna. No. Just like chilling next to my pal.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Yeah.
So he disappears from sight for a while and just kind of leaves you to yourselves inside this this cabin-esque type of circular room. Do you do anything in the meantime while he's gone?
Zook kind of, in what is clearly a display of admiration of this work of druidcraft that is this house and this collection of buildings, sort of runs his hand along the structure and the feel for the walls, and then just sort of happily looks out the window into the forest.
Yeah.
Is no one enamored by the fact that little Miss Emily just spoke giant?
Matey doesn't care.
You're right. Matey doesn't care.
That's beginning to be the That's beginning to be the most common thing
Of
I've said
course.
this entire time playing Matey, aside from make a wisdom save.
McCloud has begun to eat his porridge. Well, I presume not begun. Probably ate some while during our short rest.
Yeah, for sure. So, time kind of passes. It's maybe even up to 30 minutes, maybe an hour. Basically, you could take another short rest if you had needed to. But there's a boisterous song that seems to emerge from the forests in the stillness of the night, as Matey looks like he's beginning to sing The Rage of Pentahook, which is a grisly tale of a murderous man with 5 hooks on his right hand. Quite a gnarly story. But the noise is interrupted as once again the Furbolg emerges through the doorway, which has like just hanging vines as a door, and he brushes them aside and enters, and then he motions for you to all like settle down and says, "Our leader, Destrida, is here, and she will speak with you."
Wonderful.
And then coming through after him is what looks to be a very pale elf lady, with tattoos across her eyes, furs kind of all over her shoulders, and she's probably only about 5 foot, but she's got very pointed ears, and as she comes through, she looks you all from left to right, and she says, "Welcome to the city of Naught."
Zook, as a sign of respect, sort of bows his head and says, "Thank you for welcoming us so openly."
Yeah, Emily just sort of, "Oh, elf," under her breath. I don't know if you guys hear that.
Isis probably would because she's like right next to Emily.
Oh yeah, Isis would.
Isis just jabs Emily. Be nice. And then she like awkwardly gets out of the chair because she's probably been just like pretty much just engulfed by this giant chair, so she like struggles to get out, and she stands and she offers the elf a bow. What kind of elf is she?
She looks to be a wood elf, but she's very pale, which is not usual for wood elves. But she's got jet black hair, and she's covered in furs and kind of sewn leathers, but from mismatched type of leather strands.
She's gonna greet her with a very polite hello in Elvish.
Emily's also gonna jump up and be like, yes, this is our very helpful and kind drow friend." Just sort of break the tension of the fact that there's a drow standing in front of a wood elf.
Yeah, she doesn't seem to really care. She's got a kind of blank expression on her face, and she says, "Under normal circumstances, we would welcome you. However, we fear there is a slight misunderstanding, and we do apologize for any issues you had with our guardians, but people are not normally welcome in this area. We keep to ourselves for the most part."
Understandable.
Understood that we are the trespassers here, but rest assured that we mean neither you nor your kin any harm.
So most likely you haven't had any stray sorcerers wander through here.
She looks at you and she tries to see kind of what you're asking, and I feel like if it was reversed, she would roll an insight. But does Emily have anything kind of showing from why she's asking, or any clues to what she's after?
Not exactly, just sort of quandering if there would be an outsider who is a sorcerer that may have wandered in and they know about them.
So she shakes her head and says, "We normally do not have outsiders. We are all magic users, but we are druids. Our circle is here in the forest, and rarely do we leave."
Yes, okay. I understand.
Thorn tells me that you are after the Dryads.
We aren't after the Dryad itself. That's not what we were sent to collect. It was our understanding, based on our employer, that we were to retrieve the rubble of the obelisk, which the Dryad was connected to. It is our understanding that was destroyed previously.
This is new knowledge to us. We were only sent to retrieve the shards.
She steps into the room a little bit more and kind of circles around, so she's inside but kind of off to the left, and she says, "What do you know of Lady Zila?"
Lady Zila?
The Druids, or Zana, the twins.
Haven't been told really anything about the Dryad itself.
They have been cursed. They do not belong in this land, and we are trying to free them. Once we are able to rebuild the obelisk, we will free them. We will try to uncurse them, or send them back to the Feywild if that's what we need to do. But once that is completed, then we can return the obelisk to the church. In the meantime, we cannot do so.
The church tried to communicate with you before about this.
No. The Dryads stole from the church in an attempt to get themselves freed prior. We have since after that been in contact with the Dryads, and they have requested us for aid, and we are going to help them.
And what fate has this corruption left them in?
They are under the impression that they are goddesses and should rule this land. That is simply the curse. Once we are able to free them, they will return to their proper goodness.
And what do you think? How could we possibly sever this connection between an obelisk and this Dryad?
It is their current life source. They are imprisoned within it.
Perhaps you are of better knowledge of these arcane ties. Do you have an idea, I suppose, as to how long this curse removal may take?
We are still trying to find that information out.
Right, okay.
In the worst case, we will free them and take them to the Feywild, where they will be at least back in their native plane. She looks over
McCloud
at
is being obnoxious.
McCloud in the background, who is kind of burping loudly. She seems to try to be ignoring the fact that there's a dwarf burping in their hut.
I guess to get to the meat of it, we just need to find a way to be able to return this obelisk, and of course we want to be able to do so without harming anybody unnecessarily. So what can we do from here moving forward to be able to accomplish that?
If you wish to wait until tomorrow morn, when the full moon, we will be able to conduct a ritual which will free them from the obelisk. It might be premature, but if you wish to be present once we have freed them and captured their spirits, you could have the obelisk at that point.
So, Emily's gonna turn around and
flashes a look
kick
at
No, I'm kicking McCloud in the shin.
Yeah, Distrida is looking at him, trying to be polite, but clearly, like, dwarves and elves, they don't get along very well. Foreign Holiday, the
And be
Furbolg,
silent.
tries to
You don't need to do anything.
the Furbolg crosses over the room and just kind of squats down next to McCloud, and he says, "Would you mind sharing? That doesn't look bad."
Aw, make a friend. Yeah, for sure.
The Furbolg just kind of gently wipes his hand on his shirt and then reaches into the porridge and grabs a handful and just starts to put it in his mouth.
Back to business.
Moving forward, it seems like it's the best course of action for us to here overnight and then assist in whatever way we can tomorrow with the severing.
If you wish to be present, we were going to wait 1 more month, but I think perhaps the church would not give us that time. If you need the obelisk to be destroyed, we will need to free them first.
Agreed.
And do so with haste.
Sort of turn back to my companions and say, are we agreed on this being the best course of action?
Yes.
Sure, whatever. I don't care. Whatever. Let's just get this done.
Isis?
Isis?
Oh, yes, sorry. Anything we can do to help.
Very well then. We can give you this for your residence for this evening. If you require food or anything else, we can assist you. I will have Holiday be your... She doesn't want to say the word servant, but like the person who's going to help you guys with if you need anything. And then
Our assistant?
yes, quite.
Wait, no, that wasn't meant to be help, bollocks.
She turns and says,
Isis is gonna try to stop her before she leaves. She's like, hey, I actually have a question.
"What is it?"
She reaches into her satchel and she pulls out a pelt and she's like,
Oh
will you
my
trade?
God.
Will you trade some form of healing medicine or a health potion or something for my pelt?
Okay, roll a persuasion check.
Luke just rolls his eyes and walks away.
Oh my god!
Without a word, she just kind of disappears through the vines.
It's just aggressively like, you could like give us stuff for this pelt.
She just looks really, really sad.
That's quite funny.
She just looks really sad and she like puts her pelt back in her bag and she kind of like sulks in the corner. She's like, I thought I did a good job when they made this.
Maybe you
No one
could
likes it.
let me help you out next time.
Foreign
Okay.
stands up from near McCloud and kind of looks over at the pelts. It's like, what kind of pelts are those?
Her eyes just get big and sparkly and she gets really excited and she jumps up and takes Born to like another side of the room and she pulls out all the pelts that she has and kind of lays them out and spends pretty much the majority of her time like explaining the pelts.
Yeah. He listens and is like excited to look at them and stuff, but he doesn't show any interest in purchasing anything. But if he's basically gonna kind of hang out with you guys for the rest of the evening. Does anybody want to do anything while you're here in this little village?
Matey unfurls his violin from his arm and begins to again play The Rage of the Penta.
So the Furbolg seems to be a little bit like uneased as you start to play music. It's kind of just it's loud, and he ends up excusing himself and leaves.
Oh,
Like, I was so close to getting him to buy something.
So
I don't think you were, to be honest.
Then don't be honest. I need this right now. And she just gets more sad again.
so
Oh, hey, that didn't quite work out. But those are the lyrics.
yeah. So it looks like McCloud is just kind of like not really into the music, and it's probably because it's so late at night. At this point it's like almost 2 a.m. So, are you guys want to basically just take a long rest?
Probably.
Fine, yeah. Yeah, long rest. Matey will stop playing after the song is finished.
Long
It
rest.
goes on for like 5 stanzas.
Understandable. So,
It's just
half an
the
hour later, we go to sleep.
this horrible man.
Yes.
All right. Do you guys have any watches or?
Oh.
I could-
Zook will volunteer to take the first watch.
I could take one. However, I'm not very perceptive.
So it sounds like
I don't really think we would
Zook
need to be in
first.
this cabin area, but
I'll stay up. Isis will stay up with Emily, and they can have girl time.
yeah.
Girl time.
Okay. So three.
Man,
of
this
us,
is
three
really
watches.
funny to me.
Okay, so you guys all get a successful long rest. About 6 a.m, the Furbolg comes back in, and he just kind of sits down and just hangs out until people start to wake up, whenever that is. And then it is morning. Sunlight fills your room like. Yeah, right, because you're basically at the top of the tree, so there's no like shadows or anything. It's just direct sunlight in. Probably not the most pleasant for Isis, but you all awake to Foreign Holiday still being inside the room, and he seems to have Jude crafted a little wooden pot, and then there's a little fire beneath, and he's boiling up some water, to which he serves you all just a hot water in a glass with nothing in it but hot water.
Like one to all of us.
Yeah, he just passes one out to everybody who wants him, except for Matey, who he's not really sure if needs that or not.
Understandable. I'm gonna take it and prestidigitate some fine tea into it, or at least the tastes and smells.
It's good for the stomach. It will help you get a good start to your day.
Do you have any alcohol?
We do in a storage somewhere. I don't drink myself. Do you need some alcohol? Some liquor?
Yes. Alcohol is how I function, you understand. I need the highest, the strongest alcohol you've got.
Well, I think we do have some dwarven ale, or perhaps I'll have to check.
Do I need to roll deception? Matey doesn't need booze. He just wants it for an improv Molotov. But he figures Fawn would be against the idea.
Yeah,
In a forest full of druids, yeah.
If you want to, you can, but I'm gonna make the DC really low because he's not the brightest. So yeah.
Oh, that's good.
He totally.
A forest full of forest.
So yeah, so he would actually offer to lead you all to the storage if you want to, and he'll take you over to the village, which is
Sure.
Yeah, sure, I'll follow. I'm going to be exceptionally fucking careful on these bridges because Matey is a heavy boy.
Yeah, and you guys
Heavy
are
boy.
all going through this kind of Ewok village style town, which is the Druids' little enclave. and you're able to kind of come through these different huts and everything, and he leads you eventually to a storage room, which is filled with different crates and boxes and stuff, and he opens up one and it says, "This one we have dwarven ales," and he pulls out a flask and gives it to McCloud. "This one should be good for you. And then we've got some of my own creations, which normally we don't drink so early, but if you want some, I can get you some of this shine. And then we also have some elvish mead."
No, thank you.
He looks at
I,
Matey. "What would you prefer? Dwarvish, elvish, or my own?"
I don't really have any taste. This is purely for fuel. Which would you say has the highest alcohol content?
"Oh, that's mine for sure." And he gets a big barrel out and opens the lid, and it's just filled with this dark liquid, and he gets a big mug and just dips it straight out of there and hands it to you.
For those of us with noses, we can feel the burn inside.
Matey takes the mug, realizes he doesn't have anything to put the alcohol in, and he just sort of goes, "This is a very private process. Could I have just a second by myself?"
He just shrugs and steps out of the storeroom for a moment.
Matey pours the booze over his face. Just, "Look, I tried my best.
Isis is gonna pull out her water skin and be like, "You could have used this."
It was for something else." "All right," he shouts. He then shouts, "All right, we're good."
Okay. The Furbolg comes back in and just kind of says, "For the rest of the day, you will have just to be able to hang out and explore until you wish to participate in the evening's event. So pretty much you have a free day. Do you guys want to do anything specifically or explore, or just kind of hang out and wait?"
Aside practicing my Warlockian magic, my Eldritch magic, not really.
Okay.
Zook is going to try and talk to somebody in the area who seems like be a bit smarter than Forn, to see if they have seen or heard about any traveling nomadic groups of rock.
Okay. So you encounter or would throughout the day a couple of the other druids. There's an elf girl named Parara, and then there's a human man named Gilthanis, and then there are various others which kind of look more just not so much like druids, but just kind of villagers that live in the trees here in the enclave.
Hmm.
Who would you like to talk to?
I will talk to the human man.
Okay. So you kind of catch him walking across one of the bridges and stuff, and then he looks down at you and, "You're not one of the village for sure, but welcome."
No, but and I sort of gesture at my leather and druidic appearance, say, "But I'm almost an honorary member." And it's just sort of an aside joke. And I say, "I know that this is not an area where you necessarily have a lot of traffic. I was wondering, is there any chance that you might have heard talk about a nomadic group of rock gnomes that could have come this way or through these woods?"
Roll an investigation check.
Me.
So his he begins to search his memory, and he looks around, trying to like looking off into the distance to try to remember where. And he says, "Before I came here, I lived over in a kingdom called Neria. I do remember there was a clan of gnomes over there. I don't know if they're still there, but they lived by the sea.
Interesting. Okay, right, I'm unfortunately I can't really give you much more information than that, but thank you for helping.
No problem. And we were welcome in our town.
Thank you for welcoming us.
Okay.
I shake his hand.
Yep, he does so.
Reach up. In my arm to reach his hand.
Yeah, he grabs it and gives it a nice little shake, and then continues off to do what he was doing. So it looks like McCloud basically goes back to sleep and gets a longer sleep. Anybody else want to do anything for the daytime?
Matey is going to cause general nuisance and noise complaints with his violin.
Okay.
Understandable.
Roll a performance check.
Generic shenaniganery. Ooh, I need to use that more often. Okay, perform.
Oh God.
Yeah. So the town and the trees begins to liven up, and it's the villagers who live here are actually pleasantly like enjoying the music. It's daytime, lunchtime around, and you see some of the kids starting to play around and do jig, and it seems to actually be going pretty well.
This isn't like some horrible die by the rage of the pentahook deal. This is just I'm playing a generic sea shanty.
Yeah, and it seems to be a hit with the youth. McCloud, unfortunately, you do not get any inspiration from your additional sleep.
Ha 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 ha. Sorry.
Isis and Emily, are you going to do anything?
Nothing specific from me, at least.
As they went to the storage area, they would probably all gather as a group, but there's like this glob that's like trailing towards the back of the group, and it's Isis bundled in blankets to keep herself from being exposed to the sun so she doesn't get hurt. And as soon as they were like, okay, go do whatever you want, she would have made a beeline back for wherever they were staying, curl up on the mattress that she had slept on the night before, and just wait there until the sun goes down because she's
Seeing as we have
not happy with
time,
where she's at.
seeing as we have time, I'm gonna go next to Isis, and I am going to cast darkness around us.
She pokes her head out. Oh, what happened? And then she starts to like feel around because her dark vision does not work in magical darkness.
I can see you, but you can't see me.
I'm like, this is cool, but it's dark.
Yep, it sure is, Isis.
Back.
I am right here. I go out and like touch your arm, let you know where I am.
And if we played patty cake here, I'd probably lose.
Probably. I didn't know there was a loser.
Yeah, that's true.
Okay.
We'll do it anyway.
So you just hear a really awkward like attempt at patty cake.
Oh yeah.
In the darkness.
In this magical sphere of darkness.
Yes.
There's just some odd, out of rhythm clapping going on. Brilliant.
Yes.
But at least you're not hurting from the sunlight.
Not hurting and bonding.
Yeah!
Yeah.
Bonding!
Girl time.
Yeah, bonding. Just realized something about my character and bonding.
Okay.
Not telling you though.
So, the day passes. The night begins to fall across the forest once again. The villagers all seem to kind of retreat back into their cabins, and any of the druids go up to kind of one of the main platforms where a fire is started. You are all summoned over to be present.
Let's go. Oh, also, darkness is like light, so it can be on a source. I'm just saying that for like if Isis is moving around.
Oh, okay.
And not that
Well,
there's a shroud of darkness around you. I was just doing it for that one little thing.
No, now she's just parading around in darkness. Like, la, la, la.
That would be evil if it was just attached to you and you couldn't see through it.
So
Okay, continue.
as you get up onto this kind of platform, you see a handful of the druids all kind of lining up, and they have somewhat assembled this obelisk. McCloud, this is the same one that you had helped participate in smashing maybe less than a week ago. This magical artifact is towering up probably about 8 feet tall. This black marble, kind of glued together at the seams from where it had been cracked, and the druids are all beginning to form in a circle with little lanterns they're holding up with a little fire inside with an orange light. You are all invited to stand around this fire that's beginning to burn.
Absolutely.
Okay. So, Destrida is the elf druid, and she comes over. Well, there's actually 2 elf druids, but the leader one, she begins to chant an incantation, and there's stillness falls over the forest. Everybody is silent. None of the villagers are present at all. It's just these 4 druids, and she begins to trace her hands over the marble, and as she's chanting, the other druids are bowing their heads as she begins to summon forth the Dryads. Will everybody please roll initiative?
Oh, good.
Oh, God. We're gonna die. 14.
6. I said I was keeping watch, and I was like a
I'm
little
a
too close to the
fast
fire.
boy.
I feel like it's shiny. I like fire.
It looks like magic that I want to cast.
Magical fire.
Magical fire. Magical darkness on the magical fire. I also do not have a character sheet in Roll20, so it's always going to have to be manual entry.
Okay, that's fine. I'm just in GM mode, so let me change back. McCloud with a 4. Emily with a 6. I think that's everybody. So the obelisk begins to glow, and there's these green runes that begin to appear from kind of beneath the surface as Destrida kind of circles around, running her hand up and down across the surface. The glowing runes begin to glow brighter and brighter and brighter until all of a sudden there is kind of a gas release from it, almost like a hissing sound. Destrida jumps back kind of a little startled, and you see these 2 figures beginning to emerge from the obelisk. McCloud, you have seen these before as these dryads, looking kind of very elven-looking features, but definitely not quite an elf. They seem to be kind of drawing themselves out. And if you, oops, that's the wrong one. I need to put that on the other layer. If you're curious what they look like, they basically look like that.
Hello, nurse.
Yes, they're very beautiful. And they basically pull themselves out almost like spirits from the marble. And the first one, the dark-haired one, she says, "You have summoned me. and then the green one's kind of slithers out from below it and kind of emerges in her full elven form, and she says, "Thank you for releasing us." The four of the druids kind of look to be very on guard, like they're waiting to see what's going to happen next. And then it's going to go to Matey first, however, before anyone else can act.
Oh, that's always a good sign. Matey. What should Matey do? Matey is going to prepare. What spells do I have to prepare?
Fixed.
Matey is going to prepare a hypnotic pattern.
Okay. And so you're
So like
holding your action.
his bow is on the string. Like he's ready to start playing this little hypnotic tune that he knows.
Okay.
But he's not going to act yet.
Okay. What are you holding an action for a specific trigger then?
Yeah, if they start attacking anybody. Yeah, if any one of those two unleashes an attack, he'll start the hypnotic pattern.
Okay. Alrighty. So then next up is going to be the black-haired dryad, and she looks around and seeing Destrida is this elf who just released them, smiles at her, and then she just kind of whispers the words, "Thank you," and then she's going to fly forwards into Destrida, which would trigger maybe your attack.
Okay, so
Destrida fails her wisdom save.
Yep. So, if I'm not much mistaken, and I'm not because I've got the spell right in front. It is a 30-foot cube.
Okay, so that is going to be 6 squares in a cube.
So I should be able to target both the dryads with it.
Okay, so they have to make a wisdom saving throw or become charmed for a duration. Okay.
Yep. So both of them need to make a wisdom saving throw.
Okay.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
One of them mega succeeds.
And that will actually be Zila on the top, who is flying towards Destrida, and the elven druid, kind of her eyes widen open as this this almost incorporeal version of the dryad kind of flies up close, right out, almost like basically about to take over her body. And you cast hypnotic pattern, and what happens with that? What does it look like?
So, within the 30-foot... Ow! Oh my god, I just kicked the dresser. Ow!
Oh, Jay, that sucks. You alright?
How much damage did you deal?
That's 2d12 force damage against my toe. Ow! Anyway,
22 plus strength.
now that I've stopped being such a little bitch.
The dresser had hellish rebuke or something.
You create a twisting pattern of colors that weaves through the air inside a 30-foot cube. So basically, as Matey starts playing, little musical notes start spiraling around the dryad's head. Her movement speed is 0, and she becomes incapacitated. The spell ends for an affected creature if it takes any damage, or if someone else uses an action to shake it out of its stupor. So basically, the musical notes spin around the dryad's head, and it kind of goes, "Ooh, pretty!" And now it won't move because there are lots of pretty little musical notes spinning around.
Now, it says that she gains a charmed condition, so does that basically means that she can't attack you and the target or the charmer with harmful abilities? Or does that actually mean she can't do anything?
It says here, while charmed by this spell, the creature is incapacitated and has a speed of 0.
Okay, and this is a level 3 spell, right?
It is a level 3 spell.
Gotcha.
Oh.
So I'm gonna just mark her temporarily as, I don't know what these ones are.
And it lasts for 1 minute. It is concentration, though.
Okay, interesting. Well, I'm gonna just mark her with the X thing just because I don't have Oh, that'll work. Okay. So yeah, so she darts forwards, and Destrida looks kind of caught off guard, and she would have been overtaken by Zila, except you cast a spell, and all of a sudden she kind of jolts and starts looking up into the sky at these spinning musical notes. That is Matey's turn. She is no longer able to take her action. That goes to Zook.
Zook, you may be muted.
Zook, my boy, it's your turn. Or girl, I haven't gendered Zook yet.
Is a boy. Okay, question. If I cast Entangle, will that disrupt the charm? It doesn't say it does damage.
No.
It says that they have to succeed in a strength saving throw, but it doesn't do any actual damage.
Let me just check the... Oh,
I don't think it would, no. No, it's just going to hinder movement, which isn't going to affect her because she's 0 movement anyways.
Yeah,
I think
super.
it's a grapple, isn't it?
So well, I'm mostly doing it for the other one. So I'm gonna go ahead and I'm going to cast Entangle on the other Dryad. Oh. So I'm gonna cast it at the first level. Why is it not?
It's on there. It's a wisdom save, so
Okay.
right? Isn't it just a save?
A creature in the area when you cast the spell must succeed on a strength saving throw or be restrained by the entangling until the
So
ends.
she would be restrained. The other one is automatically restrained. So
Okay.
Zila cannot move.
Okay, and that is going to conclude my turn because I'm not entirely sure.
That's fun.
Actually, sorry. Since I cast a spell for my main action, can I cast a second spell as my bonus action?
So you can, as long as it's a
No.
cantrip.
Okay. And I will cast guidance on elf lady.
Okay, I think guidance is an actual action, so you wouldn't be able to do that unless it was considered a bonus action.
It's a bonus cantrip.
But it's concentration, isn't it?
It is a Yep, you're correct. It is concentration. So then that will end my turn.
Yeah, so you can't cast that one because you already have a concentration.
Because I already have a concentration.
Yeah, even though I don't think you can cast it as a bonus action, because even though it's a cantrip, it's an action to cast.
It has to say bonus. It has to say bonus action next to it. Like Matey has, I think it's Cure Wounds, and
Yeah,
that
Healing
one
Word,
is
for
specifically
example,
a bonus action.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay, sorry.
Yeah.
It's mine saying bonus cantrip because it was a bonus based on my racial traits, not because it's
gotcha.
like it affects. But yeah,
Okay.
so that concludes my turn.
Okay, Isis.
I think she's going to move and try to pull her away from the Dryad and get her on the other side of Isis.
Okay.
They're like, nope, this is a bad idea.
Okay. So let's see. She would not necessarily. Actually, no. Yeah, you're gonna have to roll a I guess just a athletics check to try to pull her, because she actually is not letting you just automatically do it. So just roll and see how well you do.
Sure. My character sheet vanished. That's weird. Do. And you said
I think it's gonna.
athletics?
You're successful. She rolled a 1 as opposed. So
Well, I don't have a minus to it, so yeah.
yeah.
Yay.
So you're able to basically pull her back one square, and she looks like she's about to like hold up this emerald gemstone which is in her hand, but you kind of pull her back, and she tries to shove you away and says, "Let me alone," but you're able to just jump past.
Yeah, so I want to get in between the two and say, I really think that this is a bad idea, and then I am going to hold a swing with my Morning Star, and I'm willing to hit whoever of the 3 people that are around me that try to show any sort of aggression towards me.
Okay.
So that's this one, or this one, which is technically, just staring at music, but...
Yeah, so your held action will go off if any of those make a move on you.
Yep.
Okay. Next up is Destrida's turn. She is going to try to push her way past you, not attacking you, but she wants to get close to Zila again. And she's going to take her action to begin her imprisoning ritual. And since Zila is immobile, she's going to automatically gain a success on. So you see as she holds up this emerald, which is, it's not that big, but it fits in her palm, and she begins to hold it, and it begins to glow, and you can see Zila's presence is beginning to try to like almost get sucked towards the crystal. It does not deal damage or anything, and basically she's going to need to get 3 successes to imprison this dryad. Perara, Gilthanis, and Thorn all kind of come over, and Gilthanis douses the fire with control flame, so Perara can kind of come over here, and seeing that Zana is not restrained, she's going to try to cast Hold Person.
Anna, the other one should be restrained for my entangle spell.
No, she made it her save.
Oh, she did her make her save. Oh, okay.
Yeah, she rolled the natural 20. Or what was
Dang.
that? I'm not sure why I rolled 2d20 because Zila automatically failed. I don't remember. No, she rolled the 19. That's why. Because Zila automatically made this failed the save because she was to 0, but Zana got the 19. So
right.
So Hold Person. They have to make a Wisdom saving throw, and that's basically what Thorn is going to do as well, just because they're trying to make them stop. And both spells fail, as I think it says the DC 12. The DC is 12 for them. Okay. Next up is Emily.
Well, this looks great, but I see no evidence of super high hostility, I guess. Like, there's restrainment going on, but not exactly combat at this present point, so I'm just gonna take my step here and cast Blade Ward on myself. And that's about it. I don't really have any restrainment stuff.
Okay. Zana is going to shapeshift. Oh, wait a second. Did I do the wrong one? There we go. So you see her form transition from being that of a very beautiful elven-looking dryad to a monstrous vine-looking creature that's definitely sentient. It's her form is made out of kind of tree-like material and vines and kind of flowing hair out of these greens, but she is definitely a very hostile-looking creature, and she's going to strike. I guess she'd move up to the druids and strike both of them. Okay, and then one hits. And I don't think that is going to trigger Isis's attack because she didn't hit you. So next up is McCloud. Abjure Enemy, let's see. So McCloud's going to cast Abjure Enemy. Okay, that is only going to be a 12. So the creature must make a wisdom saving throw, or it will be frightened by you, I believe. Yeah, so it's frightened for 1 minute. The creature's speed is 0 and it can't benefit from any bonus. Interesting. Well done. So it begins to cower from you. Very interesting. So that's for 1 minute. So, man, I wish you were on Discord so you could describe what it looks like. But it says you're lifting your holy symbol, and then I imagine this kind of like radiant light kind of shines out directly into this dryad's eyes, and it begins to recoil and hold its hands up to try to block it. And then next up is Matey.
Matey is going to not really do anything. Matey, nobody's hurt, are they? No, those two druids are hurt, right?
The top one, the elf girl, got hit.
Yeah, Matey. I've got concentration on this spell, but does that mean I can cast non-concentration spells?
Yes.
Okay, just to make sure. I don't really do concentration spells very often. Okay. Matey's gonna oh wait, no. I forgot that it's touch distance. Well, Matey can't be bothered to move. For a bonus action, then, he'll cast Healing Word at 2nd level. So, they get 2d4 plus 4 health.
Okay, roll your dice. And then next up...
Oh, that's good. I basically yell,
Yeah,
Oi!
Wow.
Stop! I yell, Oi! Stop dying! And then they get better.
Yeah, for sure. So next up is the Dryad's turn. She is currently surrounded by musical notes. Does she get another save?
No, not by the looks of it. The spell ends for an affected creature if it takes any damage, or if someone else uses an action to shake it out of its stupor.
Okay. So then basically Zila is going to be unable to do anything. McCloud, does she get a save on yours, or is she frightened from you and doesn't get to save anymore? Does it say that? I just had it open.
I'm the one who has the entangle on her. I think that he has the other dryad.
Yeah, so for the... Is it...
Entangle?
No, it was the abjure enemy. So it says the creature must make a wisdom saving throw. On a failed save, they're frightened for 1 minute or until it takes damage. So yeah, so it doesn't get a second save. So basically, between those two things, the druids are able to kind of rally together, and unless anyone is going to actually try to stop, like do any other like causing damage or wake them up or doing anything else, is anyone going to do something or no?
No, I mean, I'm gonna probably head over by Isis.
I'm gonna move here and just hold a strike with my Morning Star in case one of the two of them breaks loose.
So pretty much it might not be as climactic, but with these spells holding the Dryads in place, Destrida and the other druids are able to hold up this emerald gemstone, and 6 seconds will go by, she gets another success, the third one goes by and she gets the third success, and then Zila is basically entombed within the crystal, and she disappears from the little island that you guys are on, this platform. Destrida then gives that emerald to the human druid next to her, and then goes over to the next one, and the druids all kind of part ways for her to be able to produce this next gemstone, which is an identical looking emerald, and she holds it up and begins her spell, and then 3 rounds later, Zana is absorbed into that second crystal, and she also disappears.
Yay, we completely fucked with your plans.
Yeah, so you guys are successful. The Dryads are gone. The fire's already been doused, and Parara is the only person who got hit and was healed for full points of damage. And the Druids kind of all begin to breathe a sigh of relief. It says,
So Emily is going to ask, how is this trapping curing them of this curse?
"They are not cured yet," Destrida said. "We have just simply changed their tomb from the obelisk to these gemstones. From here we can take them back to the Feywild, or before we do that, we'll see if there's another ritual we can discover to free them of the curse."
We were asked to bring the obelisk to the church, right?
Yes.
Okay, so she's going to turn to the leader and ask, since they are out of this, can we have this?
She nods. Yes.
Hey, mission accomplished, guys.
Supposedly.
And kind of looking at Isis, Isis and Matey, who maybe have the most formidable looking melee weapons, I say, I think it might be a good idea to sort of put the obelisk back in the state which the priestess is expecting to get it. All
right, stand
in
back.
one piece.
How high is the pillar that we're on?
You're up in the treetop, so it's probably a 30-foot drop.
I'm going to go to the other side and Sparta kick it off.
Okay, roll a strength check. Because it's an 8-foot marble obelisk and quite heavy.
Strength check? Okay.
Or athletics, sorry.
Okay.
Oh, for God.
You give it a boot, and it like barely moves. It just kind of inches up towards
And
the
then
edge.
walk away with limping.
Much like Jay's dresser.
She sits on the other end. She sits over here. She's just like, ow!
Yeah, McCloud can try to do it as well if you want. It's athletics.
Yep.
It's athletics.
The druids don't seem to be paying as much attention as they are kind of carefully handling the crystals and putting them in a bag.
Plus whatever your strength bonus is.
Bonus.
You have a plus 10.
No.
Oh, no.
Is that for
No,
athletics? So you should have an athletics bonus on the character sheet under skills.
It's like, holy shit. What level
Yeah,
are you?
that wouldn't be possible without like a legendary item And a
11.
So with
20.
an 11, you can't kick it off, but you can kind of put your shoulder up against it and give it a big push off. If you want to try to do a cooler kick, you could try rolling again, or otherwise you just kind of slowly shove it to the edge and then it disappears over the corner. Okay, yeah,
McCloud is
There we
not
go.
happy.
second.
Modified 20.
So second,
Yes,
you're able to
there you
push it
go.
a little bit, then you kind of back up, and then you spar to kick it off, and it goes
There you go.
off the cliff. You hear it crunch into a couple pieces down far below.
You know, I've got a spell that could have done that way easier.
Are you going to try
Well-
to shatter it into smaller pieces of rubble?
We have gravity.
I could have just shattered it, yeah. Assuming that it counts as a non-magical object now that the
Yep.
Hey,
things
listen. How about we fracture it more when we get it into the cart?
yeah, whatever.
Yeah, so you guys are able to kind of go down one of these spiral stairs around the trees and kind of get down to the back to the forest floor. It's in basically 3 parts. They're heavy, but you guys can drag them through the forest back to where you have the wagon if you want, or if you want to talk to the druids to try to get help, or it's up to you guys. But pretty much you have the obelisk.
I think that we can probably, between all of us, carry it back without.
Okay.
I mean,
so you
as
just
long as we
wanna-
get it to the cart, we should be fine.
Yeah, as long as the cart's still there.
Yep. So, oh, let me fix. Zook is no longer a spider.
Longer spider Zook.
Spider Zook. Spider Zook.
So you get back to the clearing. Let's see if your donkey is still here.
Donkey.
He is still
Okay.
here,
Yes.
Good.
just barely.
All right.
He looks hungry and scared and alone and sad, and he haws at you as you guys come up.
Matey tells him to shut up.
Isis honks back.
So the wagon, it's very nice to be able to put the rubble in the wagon and no longer have to carry it because it's been a long couple hours of walking. You guys
Did not mean to cast Shillelagh, sorry.
I
I'm just like,
Smack
move,
one of
donkey!
I like to think like Zook is more like he casts
Zook,
Shillelagh and
the
he just starts
donkey did
bashing
nothing wrong!
bashing the marble with his magic
Beat it with a
staff.
shillelagh.
Was entirely unintentional. Apologies.
That escalated quickly. Go ahead.
Okay, so you guys get to the cart and begin the 3-hour road trip back. And from there, unless you guys won't have anything you want to do.
Matey begins a rousing performance of Rage of the Pentahook once he has, specifically to mess with McCloud.
Seems to be doing a good job.
Isis is just rocking back and forth listening to the music. She's sitting in the cart this time instead of walking.
Yep, so the familiar
Ooh, that's the
cathedral
worst.
looking church lies ahead as you kind of get up to the town gates and kind of through them. It's probably, let's see if that was, yeah, it's probably like in the middle of the night again. It's like 1 or 2 in the morning. And everything's kind of closed up, but you're able to come over. You knock on the church gate, and it takes a couple moments for one of the novices to kind of open it up, look through the gate hole, and see it's you guys, and let you in. And your wagon is filled to the brim with this kind of crushed marble. And basically, they just park the wagon in the courtyard and offer you rooms to sleep for the rest of the night. Nobody else is really active at this point. In the morning, the Lady Vera comes down to greet you all and invites you all into kind of the kitchenette room where breakfast is being served, and she seems to have all of your reward with you guys. She pays you all 250 gold pieces each, and then you already have the medallions of Nula, so you already have kind of the church membership. But she pays you, offers you to dine, and then you can all either be on your way or stay at the church. It's up to you. 250.
250 gold. Got it.
Per person. So she spent over 1,000
Matey
gold.
Matey takes the gold and just holds it for a second and then gives it straight back. Consider this a donation.
She pleasantly takes the gold back without hesitation.
Matey did
see.
Matey did tell her that he didn't want any gold. He just wanted the information about his shipmates. But seeing as she gave it to him, he'll donate it back.
She pleasantly takes it back and nods graciously. You are always welcome, oh great Warforged. Despite your rough edges, we are happy to have you amongst our cloister.
Stop talking.
She does so.
Thanks.
There's the grumpy bot I remember.
He still does not like her very much.
Oh,
I've forgotten why
not.
he doesn't like her, but he doesn't.
So yeah, so I guess the screen would just kind of fade out as you guys are sitting around this kind of kitchen table eating their porridge, and Lady Vera just kind of saunters off to go do whatever it is she's gonna do, and you are all successfully completed the quest, and we'll all gain a level. You all get 250 gold pieces, and you can all do as you please for the next mission. So game over.
Hey.
Woo, well done, guys.
Yeah, you did that very differently than I thought it was gonna be.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, out of curiosity, how did you expect it to do differently?
Oh, I thought you were gonna have to fight all of those 4 druids.
Oh dang! I was looking at that like, oh no, I really hope that's not how this goes.
That's how it was going
Darkness
to go.
would
until
cover
you...
all of them. Oh my god.
What was it?
Darkness would have covered all of them.
Yeah.
It's decently big. 15-foot radius sphere.
Alrighty. Well, see ya, D. I will talk to you later. And for everybody else, again, feel free to level up your characters. I think you'd all be at level 5. Media, you got level 6? No, 7?
I am at level 7.
Level 7. Cool. Well, I will post more games in the future on the Facebook and whatnot, so just keep an eye out. And I had fun, even though it was somewhat anticlimactic because you befriended all the druids. That was funny. But yeah, you made it work. So good job, guys.
Awesome.
Maybe you're playing multiple songs at once.
All of the songs. Ha! 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 Fuck you, McCloud.
Damn.
Alrighty. Alright, well, I'm going to end the